with Enzo Fernandez. Jose Mourinho came in. Finally, they got the mandate from Perez to start negotiating financially. But Barca have basically hijacked this, although some sources say Barca were there even before the window opened, and it was Real that kind of steamrolled in. And ultimately, Rodri, for family reasons, wants to go to Spain. But we've got a fascinating scenario now. Man City want to keep. Pep Guardiola never used to stand in players' ways, especially senior ones that had been long-serving and loyal to the club. But Enzo Maresca's new. And of course, if it's his say, he'll go to his board and say, keep him. If he doesn't renew, we'll let him leave on a free transfer in 2027. And now Barca are going to accelerate and bid, and they have full player buy-in. So Rodri wants Barcelona over Real Madrid, and I think there's a strong chance that this one happens. Man City are going to add another midfielder. Ayoub Boadi advanced talks. They've got other targets as well. Elliot Anderson has already come in. And in essence, it's whether City say...
Football fans all have stadiums we love. But do any of us have a pitch that we love? It might sound like an odd question, but pitches can be different sizes with big consequences. Why is that? And what are the actual rules? Back when association football started, pitches could be up to 100 metres wide and 200 metres long. That's longer than Ellen Road. Not the pitch, the stadium. Anyway, UEFA wanted a standard across Europe for international matches, which became 105 metres long and 68 metres wide. But some clubs had been rebels, not intentionally, but because of the stadiums. Take Highbury, for example. It was 5 metres shorter and a metre narrower, meaning away sides had a challenge to adjust. White Hart Lane was exactly the same. And actually, when Spurs temporarily moved to Wembley, they asked the FA to shorten the pitch. The FA, very offended by the sacrilegious suggestion, said no. Which, in fairness, could have actually benefited Tottenham, because when they moved into their shiny new stadium, the pitch was exactly the same size as Wembley's. Today, Forest Pitch at the City Ground is a big one. It's 2 metres wider than any other pitch in the Premier League. But the smallest of all, Craven Cottage, just 100 metres long and 65 wide. No excuse for not tracking your man. There are a couple of crazy outliers in Europe too. At Napoli's home ground, the Stadio Diego Armando Maradona, the pitch is a whopping 110 metres long. At least they don't play on a slope like Newcastle do. There's a 2-metre incline on the pitch at St James's Park, and don't get me started on the old pitch at Yeovil too. It used to be a slant of 2 metres corner to corner and across the halfway line. So UEFA have their standards, so do the FA, but they do give pitches in England some wiggle room. Pitches can be anywhere between 90 and 120 metres long and between 45 and 90 metres wide. I mean, the rules state you can't have a square pitch, but in theory you could have one that's 91 metres long and 90 wide. Imagine rocking up to play a Sunday League game and the pitch is basically a square. So there are rules and regulations on sizes, with a UEFA standard that roughly everyone follows, but as we all know, size doesn't matter, does it?
Good morning, 6:05, Tuesday, August the 11th. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling Gabby Agbonlahor and Arnold Clark. Get the new car feeling without the new car price. Discover some of their biggest savings and find your next car today. How you doing, Gabby?
I'm very well, Jeff. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I turned the TV on last night and I saw some athletics and I thought, this must be a Diamond League meeting or something like that. I didn't realise in your fair city, the European Athletics Championship.
Neither did I, to be honest. Yeah, neither did I.
That's a condemnation, isn't it? They've missed a real trick.
I know.
In terms of no other sport on. Come on.
Are they advertising it as well as they can? 6 weeks holidays as well. Kids that are on holiday. Something to go and watch, isn't it? Get them out of the house.
In the TV commentary last night, they were saying, it's pretty much sold out, but they looked like there were empty spaces to me. Certainly on some of the shots. So you just wonder, European athletics was always a big deal.
Get people in the building, definitely.
Yeah. And Amy Hunt wins a gold medal on the first day. I mean, that's the publicity that they wanted. So, if there are any tickets going, I think they'll be selling now because she's provided them with the publicity that they should have been producing themselves.
It gets kids off their bloody iPads, then, you know what I mean? Go and watch some live sport. I'm sure it'll be cheap and cheerful tickets as well.
Yeah, look, I'll be watching it the rest of the week. I didn't realise, just did not know it was on.
Yes.
So the main transfer news at the moment is about a loan, really. I still think there's a lot of activity to come, but the Barca captain, Ronald Araujo, has joined Liverpool on a season-long loan, and there's an option to make it permanent, £47.1 million. It's a bit of a risk. Look, he hasn't played that much for Barca in recent seasons. His injury record's not great. His red card record's not great. He took a month off for depression last season.
Mm-hmm. I think they probably looked at Liverpool, haven't they? They've got the young defender Giovanni Leone. He's coming back to training soon, hopefully, 19 years of age. New signing, Jeremy Jacquet, 21. Yeah. They're the future, aren't they?
They are the future, but are they the present? That's the problem because of their age.
But Van Dijk, he doesn't miss a lot of football. He's a year older, so you don't know what Van Dijk you're going to see this season. But can Van Dijk be the main defender? And then Jacquet is the one that comes in, and you've got Leone to come in and help as well. And then maybe the manager's thinking, I don't want to go out and buy a new centre-half. I don't know if Liverpool have got the funds. What centre-half would they go and buy? Is this a clever idea of a defender that adds experience but he's not guaranteed to start?
Yeah.
I don't think he does start. I think Van Dijk and Jeremy Jacquet starts. But
he can play right back as well.
Exactly. So many competitions, he's a good addition, but he's not the answer.
Yeah.
To get Liverpool fighting.
So it's a stopgap, really.
Yeah, I want to see Liverpool making him permanent. I'm with you. Whenever I watched him, I'm like, he looks okay at times. Can be a bit clumsy. Gives away a lot of fouls, a lot of penalties as well, last-ditch tackles. I wouldn't like to see himself and Van Dijk throughout the season. I think they'll get opened up.
What do you think, Antonio Raiola? And we know he's happy. He's happy to let other people do the business for him. He was open at Bournemouth and said, look, I don't get involved in the transfers. They give me the players, and I do what I do with them. But I wonder how happy or unhappy he is with the business so far. They got Jeremy Jacquet, got him in early doors.
Yeah, very good.
He's been injured, but spent big money on him, and he's clearly a talent. Victor Munoz and now Araujo, and that's it.
They need more.
Yeah.
Frighteningly, they need more. We spoke about it a couple of weeks ago, Jeff. Defensive midfielder, they need number 6. Gravenberch, needs a bit of help in that role. Right back, needs to go out and buy a top right back. Connor Bradley, we all like, but his injury issues. Frimpong, not the answer. I don't know where he plays. He'd come on as a right winger in games, maybe. That's it, as an impact player. And you look at that left-hand side, they're heavy. Munoz. You look at Ingamoa. You look at Gakpo. They all want to play up that left-hand side. No one's really from the right, are they? Salah was the main guy. Obviously, he's left now. They've tried to replace him. It's not easy. Gerard Bowie might have been one that you could have looked at, but he decided to stay at West Ham. And you got Ekitike out for the season because Achilles injuries, even though they say February, March, it's going to take him a while to get up to speed, so you write him off for the season, really. So Isak, Wirtz, they have to be those guys. Over 100 million on each of you. You have to now show. And Liverpool fans probably let you get away with it for a season, don't they, Jeff? But this season, they'll be on Wirtz, they'll be on Isak. Show us.
Absolutely.
Salah's been the main guy. Who wants to be the main guy now? Isak, we need 20 goals a season. You got over 20 goals 2 seasons in a row for Newcastle. Now you have to do it for Liverpool.
Yeah, I'm really interested that you mentioned Jared Bowen there, because he would have been ideal for them. You know what you get is a sort of 7 out of 10 minimum every single week. He always plays. He's always fit. and he usually delivers
They
it.
need that left-footed option, don't they, off that right-hand side as well. But whoever is going to play on that left-hand side as well, they've got to get crosses in for Isak. You know, it's a different Liverpool now, isn't it, with Isak up front? You need to get crosses in and give him the service, but he's got to be at it. He's got to be hungry. Big investment, drama it was to get him through the door. Now he has to produce, and I'm sure Liverpool fans, we had one on last night, a drive, and I think he was happy with top 4, Jeff, and I'm like, I get it, but after spending so much money, is that enough?
Yeah. We had a caller on yesterday morning who was happy with top 8.
Pardon?
Yeah.
For Liverpool?
For Liverpool.
No.
No, I don't think so.
Impossible.
No. Look, Jeff Bezos, of course, making a lot of headlines this morning, isn't he, on the back pages as he looks to closing and completing a deal for a 30% stake in Liverpool. I mean, if he can find the money, obviously. Peterborough owner Darren Anthony had his say on this yesterday. He believes it could create issues for the club.
For a guy like him, spending $1 billion, $2 billion on acquiring a stake in Liverpool would be like me and you going and having a pint and spending 50 quid tonight. So who knows what they want. The one thing I'd question is if Amazon ever want to rival Sky for the TV rights deal for the Premier League, that could become an issue. You know, where that might not be allowed because their main shareholder owns Liverpool.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how that plays out. I wonder if that changes because they're a minority owner or if he's...
No, I don't know. Yeah, and I'm wondering in the deal, because again, you'd say, what's in it for minority owner? Do they have a pathway to owning the whole of Liverpool? You know, so that'd be really interesting. But look, anytime you get mega wealthy people who end up owning your club, as long as their heart's in the right place and they want the right things, they want success, it's a good thing, I guess.
The first question I've got to ask is where does Darren Anthony drink? So you go for a pint and spend 50 quid. Good.
That's expensive, isn't it?
Yeah, you're not kidding.
6 or 7 pints in Birmingham for 50 quid.
Look, this Jeff Bezos story is going to run and run, no doubt about that. Look, draw for the second round of the Carabao Cup made last night. All Premier League game Leeds take on Nottingham Forest, which is quite tasty. Elsewhere, Charlton got to Spurs. First meeting in 15 years. Chelsea faced Jack Wilshere's Luton. That's an interesting tie.
Yes.
When we look at these games, you know full well, don't you? I mean, Chelsea won't play their first team.
Yeah.
So maybe Luton would have a squeak.
Would you reckon because Chelsea aren't in Europe, they might be a bit stronger?
You might actually. I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah, pressure to win. And it just helps, doesn't it, if you win that trophy in your first season, the League Cup, maybe they go a bit stronger, but they still rotate a lot.
Well, it's there to win, isn't it?
Exactly.
That's the thing for a side who's not in Europe. You're absolutely right. They can give it a real go. Fulham Wimbledon, that's pretty appealing as well. They've never played against each other. It's certainly in Wimbledon's current guise anyway. So first ever meeting.
Just stands out, doesn't it, that name, Wimbledon?
Yeah.
You know, from back in the day, like, it just stands out, doesn't it, Wimbledon?
Yeah, absolutely. And David Moyes, it's a sort of trip down memory lane because his Everton side got to Preston, which was the first club that he was in charge of, so it should be special as far as...
Those ties, couple of weeks' time?
He's concerned. Yeah, I think so, yeah. But you are right. It sounds like Chelsea, and you would say Newcastle, people
Spurs.
Like that. Exactly. Those without European football.
Yeah, you can't afford to get knocked out early.
A real shot, a real shot. Coming up, we'll turn our attention to the back pages of whether Manchester City have a leadership problem. There aren't any options for Marcus Rashford on the table, So there were rumours about Turkey. He's not going to Turkey. I don't care. Mo Salah's gone there, which everyone was absolutely staggered by, I think. But he's not going to Turkey. I don't see where Marcus Rashford's options are. He needs to, get on with it and knuckle down. But do you think he'll start?
Well, if you was thinking about what United have, and if you think of Cunha and Mbeumo in those wider areas, I think Marcus is going to find it difficult to knock one of those out of the way, because Mbeumo gives the perfect balance off the right side with his left foot. Cunha with his pace. Šeško, I think, gradually started to really get up to speed, and I happen to think with his height and everything else that he possesses, I think he could be a really impressive centre forward for United. So I think Marcus has got it full on to get in the United team. But the thing with him is, the thing with Marcus Rashford that I've seen in the last 18 months he's been out on loan, it's flashes, you see. It's flashes. It's only bits and pieces. I don't think there's ever been a consistent thread running through everything that Marcus is doing. He had a little spell obviously at Barcelona, not easy to go there, and he did reasonably well. Same at Villa, but there has to be more at 28 years of age and to Marcus's game than just these little moments, cameos here and there for 10 and 20 minutes. And he's got to be more significant in any team that he plays for. That's what I think when I look at him. Undoubted talent, but it's just bits and pieces you ever see.
Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun. I say
6 AD, Tuesday, August the 11th. talkSPORT breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling and Gabby Agbonlahor. Bit of the Beatles. UK set for another heat wave. Temperatures reaching as high as 36 degrees on Thursday. Two-thirds of England now in drought after the driest July since records began in 1836. Well, it's short weather, Gabby, isn't it? You know, I mean...
How long has it been not short weather?
I know.
2 months, 3 months?
Yeah.
We can't complain. It's our best summer since COVID, would you say?
It depends which way you look at it. If you're a farmer, it ain't the best summer since COVID.
For us,
it's been
though.
pretty awful, you know, in that sense, yeah. It made me think sales of long trousers and jeans, they must have gone through the floor.
Yes.
Because nobody can be buying them at all.
I can get used to it.
Would you like a bit of rain? Come on.
No.
Would you like a couple of wet days?
Not me.
Come on.
You, Katie?
Yeah, I'd love a wet day.
Would you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so now.
I think we had a lot in the winter, didn't we? It was raining every day for months. That'll be back before you know it, don't worry.
Yeah.
It'll now be like all of
Yeah,
in 2 weeks and we'll be like,
raining every
oh.
Yeah, and then we'll be moaning, yeah.
Yeah.
As you might gather from the voice in the background, it's time now to look at the back pages with Costa Express.
The Costa Coffee Break on talkSPORT, sponsored by Costa Express. Ground beans and fresh milk. Quality coffee.
Because Katie Shanahan is with us. Morning, Katie.
Good morning. Now, I did something quite fun since the last time I saw you.
Really? What was it?
I drove a truck for the very first time.
Scary.
Jeff's face.
Drove a truck.
An 18-ton truck.
Wow.
Yes. Have you ever driven a
I
truck?
have not. No. What was it
Have you
like?
driven a truck?
No.
It was amazing. I had a great time.
scary.
Very high up. Yeah, you have to like climb into it
Why were you driving a truck?
because it was for the opening link of UK's Strongest Man. It was the final, and we thought let's do something a little bit different.
Watching a bit of that actually.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy your coffee?
Yeah.
So were you driving it or was somebody pulling it?
So it was just for the opening link. But so I was driving it, and the truck driver, tell you what, he did not want me to drive it.
Yeah.
He was like telling me how to do it all. And so then I just had a little bit and slammed my foot on the accelerator. And this is like hundreds of people are watching, and then all the athletes are at the end. And yeah, I had a little bit of fun. And then he was like, brake.
If you
Yeah,
if you
it was
ever drive-
okay. I only went about 5 meters.
If
But
you ever drive that truck in real life, can you not go in the right-hand lane in the 2-lane A34? Can you stay in the left-hand lane, please?
okay.
Thank you. And the rest of you listening, lorry drivers, stay in the left-hand lane.
Especially when they try and overtake on a hill.
Honestly.
On a-
You know they can't
Yeah.
get past. By the way,
Lorry's going backwards.
Katie, 5 meters does not count as driving it. You know, I mean, seriously.
He wouldn't let me go any further. I was like, there you go, there's your truck back. Right, let's do the back pages then. So a number of, the main one on the back page of The Sun is, it's about Man City, but the other one is Gianni Infantino has been, it rolls on, doesn't it? Savaged by football chiefs who have accused the FIFA president of breaking trust through deception. As that rolls on, this is after the letter from UEFA and CONCACAF and the Asian Football Confederation have written aiming to kind of push Infantino into resignation. You've also got this lovely story in the back page of the Times. Amy Hunt winning the 100 metres in Birmingham to European gold, which was amazing. That's her first major title after silvers at both the Worlds and the Commonwealths. So lots of pictures across her across the back pages. But I want to start with this story about Man City. Enzo Maresca has told Erling Haaland he scores too many goals to be Man City captain. Gabby?
I think strikers shouldn't be captain, to be honest. I think concentrate on scoring goals. I'm old school, centre midfielders or centre halves to be captain.
Harry Kane's a good captain, though.
Is he?
Good goal scorer. Is he a good
goal scorer?
What makes him a good captain, Katie, then?
Captain for England, good leader.
What makes him a good leader? What does he do?
Strong qualities, I would say. I think he's a good... How can you not say Harry Kane is not a good leader?
But what does he do as a leader? I look at good captains and I look at what Declan Rice could be. I look at Bellingham. They're captain material for me. I look at that Man City side. I wouldn't say Haaland needs to be captain. He's got a goal scorer.
Yeah.
But he's role model. He's a leader. He's got those qualities.
But he's not. Haaland is good, rightly for a striker, totally self-centred. Totally so. All it's about is him scoring goals. Nothing else. He's not going to be there and try and drive the rest of the team on, which I think from, maybe a competitive midfield player or a big central defender, somebody who's got more of an overview of the game. For me,
kicking off during the game and the referee needs to speak to you. Haaland's like, just, you sort that out, guys. I want to score. He never gets involved when it's pushing and shoving. He's just there, concentrating on scoring.
I mean, great captains, you've got to think of like Patrick Vieira. So there is an argument there to be had. Strikers aren't the best captains. But where do you sit in terms of leadership within Man City then? You've got, Erling Haaland, Phil Foden, Ruben Diaz. Who do you think would be a good captain then for Man City?
Because the manager will have his idea. I think Ruben Diaz is the standout, isn't he? He's captain material when he plays the game. Very aggressive. He's a leader. He's always cheering his teammates on. Elliot Anderson, maybe. He's a new signing. He's going to be in the team. He's going to be
Rodri hasn't left yet, by the way.
Exactly. If Rodri stays, obviously it could be Rodri, but it'd be nice to see Elliot Anderson. Big money move. He looks like captain material to me, definitely.
Not too early. Captain of Man City. He's only just arrived.
I know, but sometimes managers come in and have their idea. When new managers come to a football club, they might say, yeah, I like what he's got. And is Ruben Diaz going to be a starter? We don't know.
Do you think that a captain will determine who wins the Premier League? In the sense of, if Manchester City put a, I don't know, whoever, a Phil Foden as captain, whatever, which one I don't think will happen.
Yeah.
And that's not really going to have an impact on them.
No. I think as well now there's so many captains across the pitch.
Because, right.
I played under captains, and you're like, well, this player is more of a captain. The way he's screaming and shouting at the captain. So you can have a captain as your keeper, your midfielder, your striker. You're all doing a different role. So it's not as big as it maybe used to be.
And now you've got leadership groups.
Yeah, it's a bit of an ego thing maybe. Like, I'm captain, listen to me. But yeah, it's not a big issue.
I was just looking at great strikers that have been outstanding captains. Alan Shearer,
Yeah.
Didier Drogba, Wayne Rooney, Thierry Henry.
Alan Shearer's different Harry Kane, though, I feel, as a leader.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, in that list, I love Wayne Rooney. Outstanding captain? Is that what you're thinking of us? Don't think so.
No, not an outstanding captain. Ronaldo?
No.
I don't know.
I'm not an outstanding captain. It's all about Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I loved, like, for me at Villa, like Stilian Petrov, centre midfielder. You know, you had Gareth Barry, centre midfielder. It's in the middle of the pitch, aren't they? Like, centre half, centre midfielders, John Terry.
Got a bit of vision and overview of the
Patrick
pitch.
Vieira,
And strikers, it's too much about them and their ego and them scoring goals. And, you know.
And he's kicking off at the centre half. Haaland's not going to want to run it back and speak to the referee. He's going to be like, you know what? I want to get ready for goalkeeper to put me in 1v1 and score. He's not interested in all that.
How do you think Enzo Maresca is going to get on kind of dealing with being in Pep Guardiola's shadow?
It's hard to I can't wait to see the Community Shield this weekend. I'm excited.
Really?
I'm excited to see
Are
how.
you actually?
Yeah, I am, honestly.
Okay.
I'm excited to see
People are calling it a friendly.
Yeah, but I want to see how they set up. You know, he's Foden starting team, his Shirky back in there, but he's got big shoes to fill. No one knows. You know, we've seen with top managers before when they've left and the club struggled afterwards. But what I would say, he's got a fantastic squad of players to choose out of, haven't he?
Do you think Enzo Maresca has kind of the character to kind of follow in Pep Guardiola's shadow? Because that's quite big shoes to fill, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's massive shoes to fill. I mean, as you know, without the harp back too far, obviously Sir Alex Ferguson, we know how difficult it was to fill his shoes. You know, even if Jose said that he was, offered the job and such like, it was an impossible task to fill his shoes. I'm sure the same sort of thing is true of Pep Guardiola, of following Pep Guardiola. But one thing I would say is that Maresca, he had that spell at Chelsea. Now, he may not have enjoyed it very much, but that would prepare him for most things, because that's such a difficult club to be in charge.
He knows some of the players as well, doesn't he?
He'll know the players. He knows the club, and it is a well-oiled machine, isn't it? It's been ticking along beautifully for years.
But we'll see, won't we?
Yeah. If Rodri does go to Barcelona,
Yep.
how do you think Man City will cope without him?
Best player in the world, wasn't he? The World Cup. So, like, for me, he was a standout player. Was fantastic. Struggled, didn't he, with injury last season, with game time. But if there's talk of Buadi coming in, I think that's a signing that they're trying to get this season now. Man City, we're going to get him next summer. If he comes in, he's a fantastic player. But I don't care who comes in. Rodri's going to be a massive miss.
Yeah.
And there was talk, wasn't there, before the World Cup that, Rodri is not the same player. Anderson's going to take his place. I think he's the best player in the World Cup. And now Manchester City are thinking, do we need to sell him?
What are you laughing at?
Gabby's poked a hornet's nest here. With your A34 lorry drivers comment. Liam says, shut up, Gabby. Car drivers need to learn to be patient, stay out of our blind spot, etc. The list goes on, and learn to drive. Up the lorry drivers and PSG. Rob says, this is a great line. Oi, Jeff and Gabby. Leave us lorry drivers alone. Yes, I admit some drivers are shocking and make bad decisions, but we have to overtake sometimes. It's the car drivers that cause the issues by driving slower than they should, making us overtake them.
Press the turbo button when you overtake them.
Yeah.
Honestly, we're there all day.
He says, currently on the A34 at Sutton Scotney, overtaken. Don't use the services there. Fuel prices at Sutton Scotney, insane. That's from Geordie Rob, the trucker from Bournemouth. Yeah, I know what you mean, Geordie Rob, but yeah, it's so frustrating. Sometimes, Gabby's right, sometimes
Honestly.
you boys seem to choose to overtake when you know there is a hill coming up and you know you can't get past. So what happens?
Incredible.
Sit in the outside lane, until you have to pull back in the same place that you started at. Sorry, boys.
There should be a new rule. Lorries have to stay in the left-hand lane. Don't care what road they're on.
You can't have that.
I don't care.
You have to
do
be
that.
able to overtake, Gabby.
No,
Oh,
dangerous road.
great lorry chat this morning.
Yeah. No, and I just want to say, I love lorry drivers because I'm
Yes.
going to be on the A34 quite a lot. And I love them. Absolutely love them.
I'll see you coming.
Katie, thanks very much indeed. That was thanks to Costa Express. Coming up, Jason Cundy made his return to the talkSPORT
Lord.
airwaves last night, and he had a bold claim about Chelsea. You'll hear that next.
The Costa Coffee Break on talkSPORT, sponsored by Costa Express. Ground beans and fresh milk. Quality coffee.
Max Dowman could be like, it's like having a new player.
What's that? Talent.
Because surely this has to
And
be
how
a
many
season.
players playing this side, by the way?
Yeah.
Tell me how many players are out there on that side where Downman was playing on the right a lot of the time. Do you know what I mean? I mean, they are just stacked, caked out wide.
Do you back Downman to have? I mean, I think it was his breakthrough season last season, but he was
The
in
15th
and out.
breakthrough.
Yeah, I know, it's absolutely mad. But do you think that this could be a season where he's regularly starting and making a regular difference?
I think he's a special talent. I think he's at the right club. I think Arteta will, they'll have a lot of games this year, and they've obviously, Champions League as usual. You'll see him more this season than last season. That kid is a star in the making, and he looks like he's made of the right stuff, and he's very exciting every time you watch him. So when you see players like him in Rio at Liverpool, the future's very bright for the English national team, right?
Without a doubt. I think that come January, Arsenal fans might be looking back at the Vinicius Junior story and thinking, we didn't need him, because look at what Max Dowman's doing in the Premier League.
Yeah.
And I'm not comparing him to Vinicius Junior before people shoot me down. What I'm saying is that in Max Dowman, you have the potential of a world-class talent. And if you continue to nurture him and release the handbrake on the minutes and on the game time, and I know you're protecting him as a young player, but if you do want to play a slightly more attacking, entertaining brand of football, then Max Dowman is the man to hang your hat on, because he's something special.
No, I love the look of him, but let's not kill the kid either and put too much on him at 15, 16. But they're stacked. I mean, I know everyone's worried about the left side, Martinelli, obviously Trossard's now gone and all those things, but I still look across their forward line and go, Arsenal could win the league again with what they've got.
The Lions. Real-life fantasy rugby. Bitter rivalries set aside in a quest to create the world's best team in weeks. There's nothing like it, but who on earth had the idea and how did it all begin? Incredibly, the first Lions tour was organised and funded by three men who played in England's first ever Test cricket match. The 1888 Lions squad, then made up of 17 English, 4 Scots and 1 Welshman and a Northern Irishman, took a 46-day boat trip to New Zealand before heading to Australia. The next one was the first to get official recognition from the RFU against the newly formed Springboks. Although the Lions won the series and beat the Boks again 5 years later, in the 12 series since in South Africa, they've only won 2. New Zealand has proved an even tougher hunting ground, just the 1 series win for the Lions in 11 attempts, which came in 1971. And then there was that nail-shredding drawn series in 2017, only the second in Lions history. Only once have the Lions clinched a series after losing the first test, 1989, when David Campese's infamous ghost pass was pounced upon by Ian Evans. To borrow the phrase from Jim Telfer, the Lions is Everest.
morning, 6:35, Tuesday, August the 11th. This is talkSPORT Breakfast. I'm Jeff Stelling Gabby Agbonlahor alongside me. We're with Arnold Clark. It's the perfect time to upgrade your car. Get 2 years free servicing when you buy a used car in the upgrade event. Check it out online. Darren has texted. He says, I don't think Gabby should talk. I've seen Gabby driving. He's certainly not Lewis Hamilton. More Dick Dastardly from Wacky Races.
He was a legend, he was.
Yeah, brilliant.
I'm a good driver now. I'm a slow driver, Jeff. Can't afford the points. I'm just literally like 14 or 40, not even 41.
Yeah. Tommy says it's not the lorry drivers that I find are poor drivers. I use the M25 most nights to get home. It's the boy racers doing 150, skipping in and out of lanes, putting everyone at risk. No cameras in sight. You might add undertaking, Tommy, as well.
Sometimes, though, Jeff, as well, it's the people that drive too slow.
Oh, it is.
Sometimes I'm driving, I'm looking at them and I'm like, going past them like, are you okay? Like, why are you going like 15 or 70?
Yeah.
Can we speed it up a bit? It's dangerous.
That's why people undertake, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you're frustrated by the car for something I might say I've never, ever done. And
Me neither, never, ever.
Yeah. Tommy also says, by the way, I got done for doing 22 miles per hour in London the other day. Tommy, I know where you're coming from, pal. I've been done for doing 24 in a
London's
20.
scary, isn't it?
Pedestrians were overtaken.
You see some people as well, Jeff, they're in the fast lane and they're just daydreaming and they're going like 60 on a motorway in the right-hand lane. That's causing problems.
Rob's texted in, we're going to go back to football, sure, honestly. But Rob said Rownham's in Southampton, we're talking about service areas. Rownham's in Southampton, Jeff, is worse. Currently £2.07p for diesel. What? And I've just had about 450 litres in. To top it off, I paid 23 quid for a packet of cigarettes. Is that how much fags cost these days? 23
At least
quid.
there was diesel available. I
Yeah.
was running out of petrol the other day on the way to Coventry, play some paddle. I'm literally down to 0 miles for 10 miles. Pull into the service station, no diesel, sorry. I'm like, how have you got no diesel in your service station? Make it make sense.
Yeah.
Scrambling, Jeff, thinking I can't break down on the motorway.
Yeah. Look, let's talk football for a little while, shall we? As I mentioned, we're about to enter a busy period of the transfer market. Let's get in the transfer news now and welcome in talkSPORT senior football correspondent Ben Jacobs. Morning, Ben.
Morning, Ben.
Good morning.
So, Ben, let's start with Jamie Vardy, shall we? This is interesting, isn't it? Being linked with West Ham United. Do you see that happening?
Yeah, Jamie Vardy has several offers, some from with England, some from abroad. He'd have loved to stay in Italy for an extra year, but he wasn't going to drop down a division. And West Ham are the latest club to make an inquiry. And even though West Ham signed yesterday Manor Solomon for a £7 million package, they're looking for another attacker or source of goals. They've had a bid rejected for Troy Parrott, who's their leading target. But Vardy and West Ham held an exploratory call. Nothing is expected to move today, tomorrow. Vardy doesn't have to commit even this month or before the deadline ends because he's a free agent. So he's going to take his time. And those close to Vardy simply say West Ham is one of several options. And Vardy, remember, trained at Leicester. Sources within Leicester say he's not going to go there either. So it wouldn't surprise me if we have to be a bit patient on Vardy's future. But West Ham did make an inquiry.
Yeah, 40 in January, Jamie Vardy, but I think he's still got something off.
Yes, 100%, definitely. Especially in a championship.
Absolutely. Cristiano Romero, I can't believe that he's not out of the door at Tottenham yet, but seemingly on his way, finally, to Atletico Madrid.
Yeah, unless we get a twist, Atletico Madrid are the front runners. Spurs and Arsenal were never really going to do business. And Barcelona, despite the fact Ronald Araujo has gone to Liverpool on a loan, haven't made their move yet. So Atletico Madrid are now the favourites. They're expected to place a bid potentially as early as today. And they know the number because Napoli have an agreement in principle with Spurs for €40 million, but they don't have personal terms with Romero because he wants Atletico Madrid. And as I said a year ago, he'd like to go and play in La Liga. So Romero looks like he's heading off to Atletico Madrid, but they'll want to move quick to avoid any surprises.
I think I saw last night, Ben, that maybe Hendrick will be staying at Real Madrid. There was talk that maybe Aston Villa are interested in a loan.
Yeah, so Villa were interested and so were Roma, and both clubs were able to hold quite advanced conversations because Hendrick was seeking different options, but then Jose Mourinho put a stop to all of it around about the evening last night, and it came off the back of Real Madrid giving Endrick the number 9 shirt. So barring any surprises, Endrick stays. The player's been informed, which means that Villa and Roma will have to wait. And yet in the winter market, if he's not getting enough minutes because Real have got lots of attackers, they might be able to revisit that one. But the loans that were explored are not now going to happen simply because Jose Mourinho, with the backing of Florentino Perez, has decided that Endrick will stay. And that's a big statement, giving a young player like him the number 9 shirt at Real Madrid.
It certainly is. What about the other Spanish giants, Barcelona? Are they going to come back in for Rodri with an improved offer?
Yeah, again, it could be a today or tomorrow type saga. They want to get it done this week if they can, and that's the direction of travel. And we're seeing a few dominoes fall now, and Rodri coming into Barcelona for in excess of 65 million euros in likelihood means Barcelona need a sale, and that's where Ferran Torres to PSG comes in. He goes to PSG. There's big confidence that deal happens this week as well, and then suddenly PSG have got another attacker. Magnus Akliouche has already joined, and suddenly it might mean Bradley Barcola and Liverpool could develop as well. So we're at that stage of the market where there's a lot of indirectly linked transfers where a club like Liverpool are waiting, and as soon as PSG are in a position where they've added and they need to subtract, maybe it's a better chance to get Barcola done. But I sense that Rodri and Barcelona is going to happen, and sooner rather than later.
145 million though for Barcola? Seriously,
yeah, I mean, that's the price now, 170 million euros, 145 million pounds. But my feeling is if PSG are to spend 50 million on Ferran Torres, they've spent 50 million on Magnus Akliouche. They want Gertz from Ajax as well. At that point, is it really in their interest on doubling down, sticking to 170 million, hoping maybe another team like Arsenal comes forwards, only to find that the window shuts and they're stuck with a player that's only got 2 years left on his contract? And Liverpool are playing on that tactic, waiting, being patient, and hoping that price drops.
Ben, quick word on the Derby County takeover that's not happening. Turki Al-Sheikh pulling out of a deal to take over the Championship club after months of talks. What's gone wrong there?
Yeah, this is a story that has stunned Derby because it wasn't just close or verbally agreed. He'd done the due diligence, he'd been approved by the new independent regulator and by the EFL, and then pulled out. And Turki Al-Sheikh issued a statement yesterday stating that it all took so long that they haven't got time to plan for the new season. And yet there's 3 weeks left of the window, and some signings were lined up with the kind of blessing of this new ownership group led by Turki Al-Sheikh. And now they've been pulled away, and Derby are back to square one, and this has taken everyone by surprise. Remember, Turki Al-Sheikh flirted with Bristol City, he'd looked at Millwall as well. So I'm not sure whether it's just cold feet, but if the public statement is to be believed, it is off because he didn't have enough planning time, and it's completely blindsided Derby.
Yeah. You feel for Derby fans because they've been asking questions, for some time now. What's happening with the takeover? What's happening with the takeover? Well, the answer is it is off. Ben, thank you so much.
Thank you, Ben.
Thank you.
talkSPORT senior football correspondent, the man who never sleeps, Ben Jacobs, with us there. Still to come on breakfast.
Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Spend £100 or more with a Travis Perkins trade account and you could win a brand new Ford Ranger. T's and C's apply.
In half an hour's time, we'll be joined by this fella. Silence is golden in this case. Because what I thought we were going to hear was Gabby's best mate, wind-up merchant Joe Bayer. You will be hearing from him a little later on. He'll give us his thoughts on Buena Camara is missing out on being junior and what Arsenal may be expecting for the rest of this transfer window. Later, we'll dive into Netflix brand new Mourinho documentary. And that was our breakfast preview with our friends at Travis Perkins.
Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Want to win a brand new Ford Ranger? Just spend £100 or more using your Travis Perkins trade account to enter into the draw. T's and C's apply.
Jamie Vardy assessing all options. We know he was training at Leicester, but there was never a possibility of a return there. He actually had the possibility of doing one extra year in Italy, but it was subject on securing safety, so that never happened. And now he's a free agent. And West Ham may be opportunistic to this possibility. At the moment, those close to Vardy say that he's had several options, including from the MLS as well, and is basically just assessing. And don't forget, West Ham are starting to become well stocked in terms of sources of goals, because Manor Solomon will complete his transfer to West Ham from Tottenham today. £5 million, £2 million in add-ons. He's got permission to undergo a medical as well. So Vardy, I think, is going to take his time. And for free agents, they're not bound by the deadline day. They can sign at any point. So let's see whether West Ham decide to move. But I'm told by those on the player side that Vardy is going to think very carefully before making his next decision.
Did I see Troy Parrott? West Ham are trying to get him as their main striker, the Irish boy.
Yeah, that's possible as well. I mean, there's quite a high
signing.
valuation, and rightly so, because he ultimately has been in excellent form. Ajax have added a couple of attack-minded options, but they were there for a little bit as well. And I think Parrott and West Ham could be one to watch. But when you kind of compare the two, you've got Parrott in form, younger, more expensive, Vardy, free agent, but still a relatively high wage, you would imagine, as well. So it wouldn't surprise me if West Ham had one more, and that's maybe where these Vardy links come from.
Morning, 6:49, Tuesday, August the 11th. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling and Gabby Agbonlahor. Just talking about that failed Derby takeover bid there. Jamie is a Derby fan, says Turkey Al-Sheikh. This is his statement, was a load of waffle, he says. The deal had been approved early last week, so plenty of time to get signings through the door. Turkey and his team have been stalling. Feels like a dodged bullet to me, given our recent history with questionable ownership. And he adds, in David Clowes we trust, because David Clowes will continue to run the football club. Now, a new documentary on the life of Jose Mourinho was released on Netflix last night. Katie's back with us for more. Hi, Katie.
Hello. Yes, I actually watched episode 1, which I believe, Gabby, you did as well.
That's 2.
Did you watch
I
2?
did it
More than one episode.
There's 3, so it's 3 hours of Jose Mourinho, Jeff.
Oh, my God.
I really enjoyed it.
I actually really enjoyed it. Apparently you were in it. I missed that bit.
Oh, you know, no one liked to show off, but I scored a great goal in the season. He got sacked. I was part of the reason Mourinho got sacked. We beat Chelsea 2-0, I think it was, at Villa Park.
There was no element of self-publicity in this, Jose, wasn't it?
Well, I actually really enjoyed it. I think Jose Mourinho, in a nutshell, box office, but also controversial, and it just relives those Chelsea days and that team that he brought together with the likes of John Terry speaking in it, Didier Drogba, Eden Hazard, Frank Lampard coming with loads of anecdotes and stories about that conversation he had with Jose in the shower. We won't spoil it, but I thought, and he said it was one of the most... Well, he basically said that it was one of the most important conversations he ever had in his life. Basically, Jose says, you're the best player in the world. Frank goes, oh, thank you very much. He goes, you will be the best player in the world when you actually win titles. So you're not the best player just yet. But it gave Frank, he was saying, a challenge, a boost, and also the power of man management, you know, having such a powerful conversation in the showers.
You know what stood out for me, though, in the first 2 episodes was when John Terry said that he was sat in a treatment room, injured, and Mourinho went and shook everyone's hand, acknowledged everyone but him.
Yes.
Because he's injured. So he didn't acknowledge injured players. So John Terry got an injection and went out and trained. And the gaffer and Mourinho nodded at him like, okay, you're here to fight for me. Peter Cech had a damaged shoulder, injected it to play on. So it just shows that old school mentality of like, okay, if you have got an injury and you can inject it, play on. And that's what Mourinho actually says, doesn't it? In the documentary, he says that if you're in pain, inject it, and I want you out there like warriors.
What was it like coming up against Mourinho as a player then?
Oh, it was tough. Listen, we beat them at home. That was probably the only time we got a result against them. That Chelsea team was incredible. I mean, the players that they had kept on signing. I remember when they had obviously Drogba there, and then Shevchenko signs. Crespo was there. Kesman was a top player. Remember Mewtwo? Adrian Mewtwo was a top player. Then you had Ballack, Essien, Lampard, Kalou, Malouda were top players as well. Joe Cole. They were fantastic. And I'm sure every player that played under him, well, most, loved working under him. But the next episode, the third one, it's the breakup between him and Casillas.
Oh,
Casillas didn't like him, so that's going to be a good episode. Yeah.
I remember working at Chelsea TV during Jose Mourinho's days, and he had such an aura and a presence, and he was just adored by the Chelsea fan base. And it's interesting because it hasn't all been plain sailing. Obviously, episode 1 is mainly all about the Chelsea days in it, and then episode 2. Because Jeff, how do you think he's going to get on at Real Madrid next?
Oh, wow, that's a great question. Look, he's been a wonderful manager. Wonderful manager. And obviously, you're right, those days at Chelsea. Are his best days behind him? I think so, yeah. I mean, he didn't pull up any trees at Fenerbahce or at Benfica. In fact, if you look back, or at Roma, in truth, he won the Conference League, but he left them when they were 9th in the table. You've got to look back a decade almost, really, to when he was at Man United. That he was really at his best. So just think the best days are behind. And that might not be necessarily down to him. It's just the way, again, the way you can manage players evolves over the years. And I'm not sure how he will cope with the likes of Kylian Mbappe and Vinicius Jr. He's not going to be saying to them, Gabby, get an injection and get out there on the pitch, because that ain't going to work. So
different mentality.
I wonder whether there's going to be a massive clash of egos.
It was different back then, wasn't it? Because even in the second episode, when he was at Inter Milan, they played in the semi-final, I think it was, quarter-final, semi-final against Barcelona, second leg. And Thiago Motta got sent off after 30 minutes. And then at half-time, the Inter players come out and they're in tears from the team talk from Mourinho. And literally, they hung on, conceded one, but still went through. And that's the one where he runs on at the new camp and he's celebrating his arm in the air.
Oh, yeah.
But it just shows that, like, his man management back then, the players were so inspired by him. You got Javier Zanetti, Samuel Eto'o, these Materazzi there, just coming on and speaking and saying he was the best at man management.
It's easier to inspire players and be brilliant at man management when you're winning things. I'm not quite sure what comes first. You know, does the brilliant man management produce winning teams? Because when you're not winning, it's not quite easy to get those players to believe in you or believe in your methods.
The documentary also goes back and shows the pictures from his first press conference at Chelsea.
Yes.
You know, 2 days after winning the Champions League with Porto, comes in and then says to the English press he's the special one before a ball was even
Incredible,
kicked.
isn't
And then, interesting hearing kind of Sir Alex Ferguson's comments after that, thinking, we don't exactly do that every year.
Well, you just,
Just going on to what Jeff was saying, in the documentary, it does highlight when Jose is at his best, it's when he's got lots of control and he's able to do what he wants. However, if people want to take control and kind of tell him what to do, like maybe we'll see these clash of egos at Real Madrid. Maybe that's where it doesn't quite work out. So maybe it won't be a massive success at Real Madrid.
He says on it that at Chelsea it was all rosy, and then there were more people in the boardroom, and that's when it went sour. And then, funny enough, he gets the Inter job, and after he beat Chelsea in the Champions League to knock him out, he says that was me against Roman. He doesn't care, does he? He speaks his mind. That was me against Roman, not me against Chelsea. I love Chelsea, but I'm glad I beat Roman Abramovich.
It's quite interesting. It's got a lot of response here. Grant says, Jeff, Josie went through the full season unbeaten with Benfica. He did, Grant. Where did they finish? They finished third. As far as Benfica are concerned, the only position you can finish in that league is top. And that's the same with Real Madrid. The only position they can finish to be a success is top. Look, he is a brilliant manager, Sam says, or has been. Yes, Jeff, surely a manager is only as good as the team he's got. You just said it. Manchester United was probably the last time he was at his best. If you look at the teams he managed, that was probably the last top team that he managed. And even the players weren't that good there. I think there's a fair point there, because Roma, not one of the top teams in Italy.
Not.
Spurs, not one of the top teams. Fenerbahce, I'm not sure. Benfica, I would argue, that's the point where he needs to win the league.
And also, he needs a challenge, doesn't he? And at Real Madrid, when he was there, he won the league, but he didn't actually win the Champions League. So you feel as though, for Jose, he needs a goal, he needs a target. And maybe he wants to win the Champions League with Real Madrid. That was satisfying.
And he left Inter, didn't he, after winning the Champions League? And in a documentary, he says, I couldn't even go back to Milan and celebrate with the fans, all the players, because I knew all would have stayed. So he literally hugs the players and then leaves after winning the Champions League and then signs as Real Madrid manager. He was savage in that way.
By the way,
watch it now.
What a story it would be if he was to win the Champions League with Real Madrid. Can you believe that? There'd be a fourth episode as well. that is for sure.
So the first 2 episodes, you don't have to watch them now. I'll tell you what happens. I love a spoiler alert.
I was thinking, I don't know if we could do this, guys, but then we just go and tell everyone what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, people should know what happens. I mean, it's not like Jose Mourinho's history hasn't been well documented.
Yeah. I just love that they start with his trophy cabinet and they come out with Diego Maradona's boots dedicated to Jose.
Ferrari, he's got a
lovely Ferrari with the special one.
Yeah.
Engraved on the side, and then they've got Cristiano Ronaldo's first shirt from when he turned pro.
He's got the special one engraved on the side of his Ferrari. What a shy retired.
Gabby, do you think you're the special one here at talkSPORT?
I do not at all. No, far from it.
Who's the special one?
I think it's Simon Jordan, maybe.
Yeah,
he's got an ego, hasn't he?
Let's not tell him that.
In fairness, I've got a couple of things engraved on the side of my car as well. And if I catch the people who did it, that's good. Katie, thank you very much indeed. Coming up yesterday, Andy Townsend said he believes Arsenal are better off keeping Martinelli rather than spending 145 million on Barcola. Do the Arsenal fans agree with that? We'll find out next.
I totally got going for Vinny Jr., but I don't get going for just another one. And
not Barcola. There's lots of reports that
I don't see Barcola at the sort of levels that others do. Clearly,
145 million.
I don't see
having
him,
a laugh.
I don't see him at anything like that sort of money. I really don't. I think he is way behind Kvaratskhelia and Desiree Doué. Personally, I think they're far better players. I don't think he's got the end product in his game to warrant 140 odd million quid. No chance. And I don't think I'd swap Martinelli for him. I think I would.
for Buckler?
No, I'm honestly, because I think Martinelli knows this division, has proven himself now to be a valuable member of Arsenal's team, and I don't see that it's that much of a massive trade up for the sort of money that they'd need to invest in him.
Yeah, I mean, I have to disagree with you there, Andy. I think Martinelli, for me, I've just run out of a little bit of patience with him. 1 goal last year in the Premier League. He was good in the Champions League. But this has been an area that Arsenal have struggled with for a number of seasons. And I think it will be really, really disappointing for Arsenal not to address it in a bigger way than they've done already. Solis has shown some really good signs in pre-season. I'm putting my eggs in the Barkler basket, but maybe I'm just
not going to pay £145 million for him. They're just not.
I don't.
You know, if that's what, and okay, there'd be some negotiation available there, but seriously.
What football ground are you thinking of when someone says this?
Really tough place to go. Difficult place to go. Such a tough place to go.
It's a tough place to go at the moment.
It was a really difficult place to go, always.
But what are the toughest places to go, really? We've scoured the planet to find out. Forget a cold, wet Tuesday night in Stoke. Try playing in a blizzard 220 miles inside the Arctic Circle at the world's northernmost professional club. When Chelsea lost at Tromsø in Norway in the 97-98 Cup Winners' Cup, a massive snowstorm hit at half-time. These two boys and their brooms were absolutely no match for it. We're staying in Scandinavia for Scotland's toughest away day on a windswept cliff in the Faroe Islands. In Euro 2000 qualifying, Craig Brown's men were taken to fishing village Toftir. Kevin Gallagher called the pitch a cowfield and the wind like Pittodrie on a bad day. The Faroe Islands part-timers equalised in stoppage time, leading to these absolute scenes, and still one of Scotland's most embarrassing results.
Daft little ground, silly game.
But away trips don't come any tougher than a lung-busting schlep up the Andes to face Bolivia in La Paz. But now the Bolivians have taken home advantage to another level. The country's highest city, El Alto, 4,100 metres above sea level. Grass doesn't even grow up here. Bolivia have not lost here yet. The longest unbeaten run in any professional league ever belongs to Red Star Belgrade, or Crvena Zvezda if you must. They've gone 7 years without defeat at the Rajko Mitic in Serbia's Superliga. Their fans are pretty intimidating as well, but they're not as loud as this mob. Galatasaray's Ali Sami Yen Stadium's officially the loudest in world football. In a derby with Fenerbahce, Galatasaray fans set a Guinness World Record of 131 decibels. That's louder than Motorhead, and pretty tough to carry out your manager's instructions when you can't even hear them. However, our most intimidating away day is in Wales, where cameras can't enter and players can't leave. HMP Prescoed. This prison team was briefly kicked out the Gwent League over concerns about young opposition having to go in there. Now that's a tough place to go.
Early June 1939, Germany, always a tough place to go to.
Good morning, this is talkSPORT Breakfast. I'm Jeff Stelling Gabby Agbonlahor with me. We're with Arnold Clark's Deal Drop. Get the new car feeling without the new car price. Discover some of the biggest savings and find your next car today. Coming up for you this morning, we'll kick off the build-up to the return of the EFL this weekend. We'll talk to Sheffield Wednesday's Barry Bannon. Gabby will tell us who he thinks has the best front three in the Premier League, and we'll ask Sussex chairman Ed Warner if the 100 is destroying county cricket in this country. A lot of reaction to chat about Jose Mourinho there. Paul says Jose let Kevin De Bruyne and Mo Salah leave Chelsea. Hardly a top manager. He's a checkbook manager a la Guardiola. Tony in Chelmsford says, can we stop the Mourinho loving? He destroyed as many careers as he made. Dele Alli sucked the life out of his game. Joe Cole couldn't run 5 yards without falling over. Whole game has declined with his antics. Makes my blood boil. And Dean said, that's my Tuesday night ruined, guys, telling us everything about the new Netflix
sorry,
series.
Sorry, guys, I didn't mean to.
Sorry. Dean, you know, it's not your Tuesday night ruin. You can watch the Great British Sewing Bee instead. That's on tonight, Tuesdays, isn't it? Something like that. Right, let's move on. Gabby claimed on Drive yesterday that the title race is already over and Arsenal would be crowned champions again. And I completely agree with you, Gabby, by the way. And that's despite them missing out on Vinicius Jr. Andy Townsend doesn't think they need to try and replace missing out on Vinny with a move for someone like Bradley Barcola.
I totally got going for Vinny Jr., but I don't get going for just another one. And
not Barcola. There's lots of reports that
I don't see Barcola at the sort of levels that others do. I really don't. I think he is way behind Kvaratskhelia and Desiree Doué. Personally, I think they're far better players. I don't think he's got the end product in his game to warrant 140 odd million quid. No chance. And I don't think I'd swap Martinelli for him. I think I would.
For Barcola?
No, I'm honestly, because I think Martinelli knows this division, has proven himself now to be a valuable member of Arsenal's team, and I don't see that it's that much of a massive trade up for the sort of money that they'd need to invest in him.
Those are the views of Andy Townsend. Let's get the views of an Arsenal fan now, presenter, content creator. Regular on the show, Joel Bayer joins us now. Morning, Joel.
Morning, Joel.
Good morning, guys. Fresh from holiday. Fresh from Gabby giving me stick last week when I was off. How are you?
Yeah, really good. Thanks, mate. What do you think? Would you like to see your club pay 140 odd million for Bradley Barcola?
Not for Barcola, no. I have to be honest with you. Like, I usually don't listen to a word Gabby says, but we had a quick chat in the green room, and I actually think you're right, mate. Yeah. For 130, 140 million pounds, you have to be giving me a Kvaratskhelia or, somebody who's like a world beater. I think I do share your sentiments where in front of goal, he misses a lot of opportunities,
Listen, is he a better player than Martinelli? Yes, he is. I think 1v1, he's unstoppable. I don't care what defender's against him, beating you. That stop and start, rapid. But he makes the wrong pass at the wrong time and he's finishing. He's not a control finisher. Doué's a lot better finisher.
Yeah.
But then Barcola, he's the quicker player. But I think, like Ben Jacobs said earlier, maybe now Ferran Torres joins and maybe they think, okay, that price goes down.
Yeah.
I think 100 million is still a lot of money, isn't it? But
yeah. No, but, I completely agree. I mean, I do still feel like Arsenal need to do some business. I don't completely agree with Townsend there. I feel like we need to strengthen in areas. I was looking at our squad. I would say we need a backup for Gabriel or Saliba. We don't have enough. You got. I still feel like there's a customary defender.
Ben White can play in there.
He's not. Let's be honest. He's not a centre back. I don't want to see Ben White as in a centre back position. Yeah, he doesn't do it there for me.
One more centre half.
Yeah, I think one more centre half. I think I would like an upgrade on the left hand side. I do, not Barcola, but I would like one. And believe it or not, I really want to see a striker. Like, if we had the opportunity to get an upgrade on Victor Gyökeres, I would.
Havertz and Marino can play there.
Yeah, I think Marino's the best finisher at the club, and I think that's the issue.
Okay.
I think we're at a stage now where Marino can do a job there, but is that where he's going to be playing all season?
How are you going to keep you keep adding to the squad? How are you going to keep all of these players happy?
Well, let's get rid of Gabriel Jesus. I think that was a good point that you mentioned. So I think if we get rid of one or two people, I think we're there. We don't need much to win this title, by the way. I'm not worried one bit.
I think Arsenal win it, but what about Wanyeri and Dauman? Do they both stay or do they go on loan, one of them?
That's a good question. Good thing I'm not the manager.
You've got Saka, Madueke, Dauman, and Wanyeri from that right-hand side.
I don't really care about. Well, Wanyeri plays more in the central,
Yeah, no.
so I don't really care too much about that side. It's
Okay.
more about, for me, the forward position. Because on the weekend when we lost to Dortmund in the friendly, Victor Gyökeres scores a goal, but his all-round play, I'm still not impressed. I'm still not convinced. You know, when we played PSG in the final, you're about to get beat by PSG, by the way.
game,
It's
mate.
really,
Nice to be
really
involved in
bad.
it, though.
Really bad. 5-6-0. I promise you.
Yeah, but you know, it doesn't matter losing a friendly.
It does. No, it's not friendly. It's a
It
super
is a
cup.
friendly.
They need this. They really do.
We'll see.
Yeah. So for me, I think that's the area that I'm worried about the most, believe it or not.
Roger says, good morning. Haven't we seen this before? Arsenal aren't spending 150 million on anyone. We shop at Aldi, not Harrods. Roger, no, you don't. No, you don't. How about Declan Rice? How much did you pay for him? You don't get Declan Rice's at Aldi, okay?
Why don't we give our board some props now? Because it's not like what it was before. They refuse to get in this rat race where you're paying £130 million for Elliot Anderson. You're paying these ridiculous... Look what Liverpool spent last year. They're not getting involved in it. And you know what? It sets a precedent. If you want to play for Arsenal Football Club, you're going to be at the right fee for a right, wage, and everything will stay
But
structured.
you are stronger than last season already, aren't you?
Exactly, with
You know,
Bruno.
obviously, Saliba being out is a problem, but with Bruno Gamiro's coming through, you're stronger.
100%.
So you got to the final of the Champions League last season. You've got every chance this season.
Yes, and there are so many question marks over other sides. Nicholas says, Barkler not better than Martinelli, really? Yes, the price is wrong, but he's 23. That's what we were saying, Nicholas. No one's saying. I think everyone would say that Barkler would be an upgrade on Martinelli. Though Martinelli's, I think he's done a good job at it.
Yeah. Is he
But he would
worth...
be an upgrade, but not at that price.
No.
That's the point. And Chuddy says, rumours coming out of Arsenal involving a player plus cash swap between Victor Osimhen and Gabriel Martinelli. Would you take that?
I would, but my thing... I definitely would, because Victor Osimhen is a goal scorer. But at the same time, what Mikel Arteta has done very well is there's a great squad harmony and unison across the board, and we want to make sure that stays. Would the Vinny Jr.
Would it have helped with it?
We don't know. Because, do you know what I'm not buying, Gabby? I'm not buying this whole, Victor would have been a problem. I don't know if he would have been Vinny would have taken the number 7 shirt, would he?
No,
we don't know.
I don't think that, but like Vinny Jr.'s character, like he's coming to Arsenal, he wants Ballon d'Ors, do you know what I mean? Like,
what's wrong with that?
No, but I'm saying, and also he's coming in on a lot more money than other players. If you're Saka and Rice and Ryan and Gabriel and Saliba, and he's coming in, triple what you're earning,
massive causes.
Well, if you've won a couple of Champions Leagues, right, and the league is running out your ears, then
as far as the other players are concerned, that doesn't matter.
Why not? Why does that not matter?
They're the players who just won you the Premier League.
But that's the player. But that's the marquee signing. Bruno G cannot be our marquee signing. He can't. We need a statement signing. That's what I would like.
You don't need a statement signing. You don't need any particular signing. You'll win this Premier League without it. And people will say, strengthen from a position of strength. Well, just ask Liverpool fans what happened when they won the league, and they strengthened with people like Alexander Isak and Florian Wirtz.
Do you know what my issue is? Is that I do think we're going to win the league this year, and I think we're stronger. But I think of the fact that when you're in these kind of positions, like a Man City were when they first won the league, when they beat United on goal difference, you have to capitalise. You have to know that your future depends on this 2, 3, 4 year period. And if you're too tame on it, we might win it this year, but if you carry on the same and you don't have a marquee signing next season...
So who would you go and get now? If you had 150 million in the bank now, Arsenal, you can go and spend it, Arteta, who are you going to get?
Who's available? Caught me off guard there.
That's what I mean. It's okay saying
well,
it.
Here's a shout.
You know what? For me, I still want the boy Alvarez. For me, I think Alvarez. He's the type of player that takes us from there to there.
I agree.
I think for me, he's by far the number 1 target.
Matt says, and this has been mentioned as well. Nico Williams for Arsenal would be a great shout.
Yeah, I like Nico Williams, if I'm honest with you. He always makes a difference. We saw him as well at the World Cup. Whether he's off the bench or whether he's starting, really sharp, good attitude,
Do you think,
strength.
though, I know I joked about it last week, but do you think Vinny Jr. did use Arsenal just to get the contract he wanted?
I mean, I think there was issues with the image rights. Like I said to you last week, I think look, you played at the highest level. When you're sorting out contracts, it's never straightforward, is it? Unless someone wants to leave directly. Let's be honest. Vinny has an affiliation, a strong affiliation with Real Madrid.
Yeah.
If he leaves, it will be because the club do not want him anymore. But I feel like Real Madrid, it was a bit sticky.
Do you think Arsenal are a big enough club for Vinny Jr. to join?
I do. I actually do, because I feel like if Ozil could join, if taking it all the way back to Dennis Bergkamp, if Dennis Bergkamp could try.
This guy.
Why?
Jet lag Jeff, I think.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah. Joel, thank you very much indeed.
Getting back to LA.
Jake says the best is yet to come from Jokeres. Guy in Worcester says Ben White was unbelievable for Leeds as a centre-back. And Paul says, for 145 million, I'd want 2 community centres and a day centre for the elderly. Paul, I completely agree with you, pal. Presenter, content creator, Arsenal fan, as if we needed to tell you that. Joel Bayer there. Coming up, we hear from the Manchester United fans on whether or not they'd welcome back Marcus Rashford.
So far this season, you've got Jeremy Jacquet from Rennes.
Yep.
And then you've got Victor Munoz from Osasuna.
Yep.
Obviously, Araujo's on his way, Barcelona captain, high-profile signing.
Yep.
But it just feels to me that maybe because of this transition post-Klopp and the failed project last season under Arne Slot, not the season before, maybe Liverpool are in flux in terms of who they are right now, in terms of identity and their playing identity.
No, I hear what you're saying. And look, it's the media's job to point these things out and come up with some kind of thesis on why Liverpool haven't won a title for 10 months. And I smile while I say that. But here's the reality. They're still the most successful club in England.
Yeah.
They're a world-known club. Everyone knows them. If they want someone and they can come up with the money, they can attract players. Somebody going to Real Madrid over Liverpool, I'm not losing sleep about. A French person going to Paris Saint-Germain because he's basically French and he lives near Paris. Again, that's not a club issue with Liverpool. We will make signings in this window. Areola will instill an identity. It'll be an identity that will be exciting for the fans to watch. I saw a lot of Bournemouth games last year. Any fans who haven't, go watch them.
Yeah.
They're young, they're quick, they're dynamic, they never stop pressing, they never give up. If he instills that at Liverpool, and it'll take a minute, it will be exciting. We might not be up there at the start challenging for a title, and it depends how far Arsenal or Man City get ahead. But don't write Liverpool off like that this season. Yes, we're a few pieces missing. We've got the defensive cover sorted now, apparently. We'd love a central midfielder. We'd love a right winger. We'd like a little bit more strength and depth through the squad. But I still think good things can happen this year. And pre-season games have no reflection on how our season's going to go.
Yep.
Morning, 21 minutes past 7. It is Tuesday, August the 11th. Guess what? Clear blue skies outside.
Lovely,
Again, could have
isn't it?
said that for the
Can't
last 2 months,
complain.
couldn't they?
Can't complain at
But if you're a farmer, you can definitely.
Yes.
And if you're a fish, you can complain as well. This is talkSPORT Breakfast. I'm Jeff Stelling Gabby Agbonlahor is with me. Marcus Rashford's back with the Manchester United squad. He's flown to Dublin with his teammates at their training camp. But United fans, do you want him back?
Cross comes in towards Rashford with a header. Brilliant. What a lead.
Rashford is arguably the best talent United have made in the last 15 years.
Yep.
Why would you not open him arms back to him? He improves the team instantly as he comes in.
I'm sure that Michael rates Marcus as a player and he can still make a difference. So if that is the case, then there is an opportunity he could still stay.
I think the answer is twofold. One, wage, and two, Rashford's own desire to see whether he can be reintegrated at Manchester United.
You've got to apologize. If you're going to be my girlfriend, you disrespect me. I'm not taking you back because you're beauty. Go and sell your beauty to the commercial, right? You've got to say sorry to the fans.
One or two more views coming in via text. Just before we go on to those views, by the way, I just want to address one little issue. Mark said, it was disgraceful how much you gave away about the Jose documentary. Mark,
I'm so sorry.
It's not a drama.
I'm so
It's not
sorry.
a thriller.
So sorry.
You
I
know,
feel bad.
we know what happens.
Yeah. And at the end, I'm joking.
DC says, I was all for Rashford leaving, but realistically, United don't have money to spend to replace him by the looks of it, and he can play on the wing or down the middle, so he's a massive option for United. Personally, I think if Carrick can get Rashford's head screwed on, he can be an important player for United again. And Lee says, as United fans, we should 100% welcome Marcus back to the club. He's a Red, born and raised. It's been a sticky couple of years. If we get behind him, he can get back to his form from a couple of years ago and fire us to the Premier League title. That's Lee in Huddersfield. It's a bit of a no-brainer right now to keep him, isn't it? I mean, I'm not sure there are any options, Gabby, for him.
No, I think as well, Jeff, last season he got like 8 goals in the La Liga, 5 goals in the Champions League. You know, he had a good season for Barcelona. Obviously, the wages, why they didn't make it permanent. As long as Marcus Rashford, when he gets on, if he doesn't start straight away, he's running around, he's chasing fullbacks back, he's working hard, and if he scores, he's smiling. Manchester United fans will take him back. He's one of their own. I'm sure Carrick will get that out of him. So I'm excited for Marcus Rashford because I loved him at Aston Villa.
Yeah. Let's hope we see the real Marcus Rashford. I think all football fans would like that. By the way, you said nobody can complain about the weather. Simon in Warrington says the weather's glorious. But as an avid golfer, I can complain. All the fairways are light brown and disappearing. Hey, Simon, you are absolutely right.
Yeah, terrible.
Yeah. Well, honestly, some of them are like roads at the moment. I mean, if you hit the fairway, it means your drive goes 400 yards. But it's not great.
Terrible.
Right, time now for this.
The Costa Coffee Break on talkSPORT, sponsored by Costa Express. Ground beans, fresh milk, real signature taste.
Yeah, we know where the theme tune's playing, don't we? We'll all be hearing it a lot in months to come. Katie Shanahan is with us to tell us all about it.
Yes, so the Strictly 2026 cast is out. As Strictly will be back on our screens very shortly in September. Obviously, there's a new lineup with the presenter cast as well. Emma Willis, John Widdicombe and Johannes. So no Tess or Claudia anymore. New presenting cast and also the lineup. So some of the names to look out for. We've got Sean Wright-Phillips.
Wow.
Former England, Man City and Chelsea footballer. You've got a real range of people taking part, from Danny Dyer. She got injured in the last series, so she's back.
Real range. They run from soap opera stars to
hairstylist.
Soap opera stars.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, hairstylist. Chris Appleton is Kim Kardashian's hairstylist.
Oh, we all know Chris
All
Appleton,
know
don't we?
him.
Oh, yeah. Chris, I'd be blown away if he was to walk in here now.
Celebrity is.
Dames Sarah Story, though, 19-time Paralympic gold medalist. She's also on there. You've got the likes of Delta Goodrum.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, great singer.
Good old Delta.
Good old Delta. Cash Mercer.
Cash.
is the one
Cash
to
is
watch.
king.
Cash is king.
Delta Airlines, Cash is King.
Oh, it's Queen, I think, actually, isn't it?
Yeah. And you've also got Graham Hall, TV's Dogfather, Lawrence Robb, Emmerdale actors. You've got a mixture of names.
Loads of celebrities there.
in,
Massive celebrities.
Yes.
It's difficult, you know.
A-listers.
In defence of the people at Strickland, I think it's a... Let's be kind. Let's say it's a very average lineup indeed. It's very difficult to find big celebrities who are willing to give up the amount of time required to put in all the training that goes into this, you know. And if you get to the final, it means, you know, you're, I don't know, 3-4 months, something like that. It's a huge commitment.
It
so
is
I
also.
get.
But a shout out to Karen Carney, the reigning champion, of course.
She was sensational. Absolutely sensational, you know. Grew to love her during the last series of Strictly. She was brilliant.
She was absolutely amazing. And it's got us thinking this morning. Gabby and Jeff, we're going to talk a little bit about dancing and footballers dancing. Gabby, do you remember whether you were a good dancer?
After probably 4 or 5 tequilas, then like the body became like more loose, and I could dance.
Those hips don't lie,
the
do they?
hips don't move. Sober.
Dish the dirt then. Who were the best dancers in the nightclubs in Mayfair?
Oh, well, I'm not sure on White Phillips because I used to always see him out, and he sat in the corner, hiding, drinking a drink in the corner, getting some mischief. But no, he wasn't a dancer, so I'm worried about Sean. But yeah, I didn't really go out much to the players, you know.
What about Jeff, in terms of ex-players or broadcasters at Christmas parties? Who were the best on the dance floor?
Well, me, obviously. Look, when I was a teenager, I said this before, and I've been asked to be on Strictly a few times. It's not for me. I don't want to be the old fat bloke who gets the sympathy vote. But when I was like 19 and lived in Hartlepool, I used to go to the Paul Hopper Dance Academy, where I learnt to do ballroom dancing. And the reasons for that were not that I wanted to do ballroom dancing, was A, there was a bar, and B, there were lots of girls. So the twofold reasons for learning or trying to learn to be a ballroom dancer. I mean, I was pretty hopeless, but nevertheless, I had a lot of fun being hopeless.
In terms of talkSPORT presenters, who do you think would be the best on Strictly?
Do you know what? I think maybe Benty.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
Big Al, come on, we want to see Big Al.
I think Dean Saunders would be great.
Dino, yeah, you're right. I think Benty's got some shapes. I'm sure he has. He used to love a night out. No, I'm joking, he didn't.
Jason Cundy?
No, Cundy struggles, doesn't he? Just about walk, can't he?
Yeah.
I was going to say he's pretty good at the talkSPORT Christmas party karaoke.
Just about walk Cundy. Dino would love it, but he'll be talking while he's dancing and you shut up. I can't talk.
He'd be telling a story, wouldn't he?
He'd be telling a story. His partner would be like, shut up.
He'd be good in the cha-cha-cha, the jive.
Yeah.
Who else? I reckon Simon Jordan would be good. It'd suit him.
Yeah, which kind of dance would suit Simon John? The waltz?
He's a bit of a romantic guy, isn't he?
The tango?
Yeah, he's a bit of a romantic
guy. The salsa then?
Yeah, I think the outfits would suit him as well.
Yeah, he'd love the outfits.
Simon Jordan, put him in there.
Couples choice? Couples choice, where basically that's basically where they can do a show. Does Jason Cundy and Jamie O'Hara together?
Jamie O'Hara hurt his calf the first game of paddle we played. Imagine what happened to him doing some of these dance moves. Cundy can't move. O'Hara gets injured. No chance.
I mean, Merce did it obviously most recently, you know, and he was brilliant actually. Not so much his first dance wasn't great, but after he really got into it, he was absolutely brilliant. And I think he thought it was a pretty good experience.
A lot of controversy as well, isn't it? That comes with Strictly, is there?
Well, the problem is,
I don't know.
The problem is that so many of these guys,
stir the pot. It's dancing.
Yeah, but a lot of these people have past dancing experience, and that's the problem. Do you want to see somebody who's a total beginner, you know, tramping on people's feet, or do you want to see somebody who's probably been in musical theatre and has danced all of their life?
Yes, I would rather see someone that's not danced before and then goes on to win.
Yeah, me too.
I agree. Yeah.
Me too.
A lot of controversy.
Thanks, Katie.
Thank you very much, guys.
Just talking about Marcus Rashford, Jill's texted, she said, morning, Jeff, Gabby. No.
Oh.
No chance.
Jill.
It's not about ability. He did nothing for the last 2 years. His attitude is the issue. Just no.
Oh.
So Jill's
Oh,
not.
no
Jill's
second
not.
chances for Jill.
No, Jill's not.
Woo.
Thank you, Katie. That was all thanks to Costa Express. Coming up, we'll bring you more on the future of Rodri, and also after his documentary was released last night. Spoiler alert. What can we actually expect from Jose Mourinho's return to Real Madrid? More on that next.
The Costa Coffee Break on talkSPORT, sponsored by Costa Express. Ground beans, fresh milk, real signature taste.
Steve gets in touch with the United fans. He says, boys, with Rashford, we've been down this road so many times. We've sang his name, give him over 300 grand a week, backed him and watched him stink the gaff out week after week. Body language is such a huge part of football.
It is.
I can't sit in the Stretford end again and watch him sort of mope around and sulk on the pitch. He's worked hard for any club who'd take him on loan over his supposed boyhood club. We've been down this road too many times. Shake hands, get him out the door ASAP. Do you understand that sentiment from some Manchester United fans?
Totally. I totally get it. Yes, he's burnt his bridges there. I get all the reasons for it, and he's done himself no favours whatsoever. Like I said, the player had potential to be top. Really, it's time to buy him a giant mirror. It's like, look in the mirror, son. Barcelona didn't want to buy you for 30-odd million. That's a drop in the ocean for a club like Barcelona. Nobody in the Premier League allegedly wants you either. So I don't see any, I said recently maybe Tottenham should sign him, but they're obviously not getting the bids. So you're already at one of the biggest clubs in the world. Like, at some point, when does the penny drop? Because your next contract's not going to be 350 grand a week. The Saudi money looks like it's going away. I ain't sure Turkey, somewhere he's going to want to live. Yep. So where are you going after this? How old is he now? He's still, he's in his prime. So he's really got to figure this out and buckle down. Or he's going to become a 31-year-old nobody, who basically his career is dried up and finished, in a few years' time. So really, maybe they're going to motivate Marcus Rashford. Maybe that will suit Man United. But I agree about the body language. I agree everything that happened before. And he ended up with a massive contract that they can't get out from under. So I don't think the people at United, the powers to be, will fall for that again.
Over the last few years, Formula One has gone from elitist and insular to a global entertainment brand. The transformation's down to American investment group Liberty Media, who cultivated a new image for the sport since buying it in 2016. Better access to drivers, improved content on social media, and tapping into the US market have given F1 a massive boost in both attention and revenues. But is everyone happy? The fans certainly are, as evidenced by Drive to Survive. Almost 7 million people per season have tuned in to get all the gossip and all the drama from the paddock. The extra exposure means the drivers can demand a higher salary too. In 2010, the top drivers were earning $20 million a year, which isn't bad. But now, the very best earn 3 times that, with Max Verstappen getting a whopping $65 million in 2025. But money doesn't always buy happiness. Some drivers, including Verstappen, don't like the pageantry the changes have brought about. In Las Vegas in 2023, Verstappen said the drivers were made to look like clowns, and the event was 99% performance and 1% race. Some purists who still watch the sport feel the same, and that the spirit of competition has suffered. But Formula One and Liberty Media don't look like slowing down anytime soon. So expect more races, major events and exclusive access in future.
morning, 7:36, Tuesday, August the 11th. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling Gabby Agbonlahor and Arnold Clark. It's the perfect time to upgrade your car. Get 2 years free servicing when you buy a used car in the upgrade event. Check it out online. So Tottenham summer, well, it's gone from strength to strength, really. Mickey van de Ven has signed a new long-term contract. Of course, he helped Spurs win the Europa League and captained the side during their final 6 matches of last season as they escaped relegation from the Premier League. He spoke about his delight at committing his future to the club.
Today makes a special day, obviously, because I signed a new contract. So yeah, really buzzing about that, really happy about that. And I won't say it's a different feeling because it feels like home. This is just a normal feeling, I would say, but the feelings I have is obviously the trust from the club I get, the trust from the gaffer I get. And the trust I have in the club is something really special, and that gives a special feeling for knowing I can stay for many more years.
Mickey van de Ven, long-term contract at Tottenham, which is great as far as all Tottenham fans are concerned. You're a bit surprised that someone like Liverpool didn't come in for him.
I am. He didn't have his best season last season to his standards, but he's still, for me, one of the top centre-halves. I mean, that speed, Jeff. You know, someone's run through over the top of Van der Ven. He's straight at them. You know, he gets back. He's got that make-up pace that he's got. Very good footballer as well. Set pieces a threat. But maybe, you know, he wants to stay at Spurs, a new project under De Zerbi as well. I'm looking at the centre-halves now, though. Who misses out? Because Van Hex signed for 55 million.
Yeah, well, he'll certainly start.
Senesi, top defender last season for Bournemouth, obviously signed on a free transfer. So is it Senesi that misses out?
I don't know. Depends what system he plays, doesn't it, really?
Yeah, if he plays a free centre-halves. But if he plays 2, maybe it's Senesi that misses out.
Yeah.
Can't see Van der Ven being on the bench, can you?
No, I can't see any of those 3 being on the bench, to be brutally honest.
Good problem to have, though.
Of course it is. And from a Spurs perspective, a fantastic problem to have after what they've been through in terms in the league form in recent seasons.
Top defender,
and
though.
Cristiano Romero on his way out, on his way to Atletico.
How many red cards do you reckon you'll get for Atletico Madrid next season?
No, none. You know, yeah.
One a month?
He'll just be one of many, won't he, at Atletico? There we go.
Diego Simeone, yes.
Yeah.
Just kick people. Well done.
Look, we've been talking Jose Mourinho in that Netflix documentary this morning already. Across Spain, sports headlines already ablaze over his explosive revelations regarding his turbulent Real Madrid tenure and dressing room fallouts. Don't want to give too much away. But look, let's get more on this now. Let's bring in the athletic Spanish football writer, Mario Cortegena. Morning, Mario.
Morning, Mario.
Hello, how are you guys?
Yeah, very, very good, thanks, Mario. Look, as far as Jose's concerned, how are people feeling? Do they feel he's the right fit for Real Madrid at this time?
Absolutely. At the beginning, I remember when we broke the news about Mourinho being Florentino Perez's first choice for the next Real Madrid coach job, people were a bit like, really? Why now? Why now? And why? That was the main question. But at the time passed, many Madridistas, most of the Madrid fan base, saw that there were a lot of troubles inside Real Madrid in the dressing room with that famous fight between Fede Valverde, Captain Fede Valverde now, and Tchouaméni, and a lot of troubles, internal troubles, and that Mourinho would be the perfect figure to put some order inside and to recover some of Madrid greatness.
What do you think about the situation last season at Benfica Real Madrid game between Vinny Jr. and Mourinho? Do you reckon they've spoke behind closed doors and that's all sorted now?
Yeah, it was, in my opinion, really disappointed from Mourinho, and even those close to Vinicius expressed the same at the time. But around April, May, when it started to become clear that Mourinho would be the next Real Madrid coach, or I would say even after the first reports, people close to Vini said that he would be very open to be coached by Jose Mourinho, and I think it will not be a problem. Also, Mourinho, you know him. Everyone knows him. He's a important. He has this aura for the face-to-face in the day-to-day. So I don't expect any troubles between them, at least in the short term.
And when I look at, obviously, some of the superstars who played for Real Madrid, Vinny Jr. and Mbappe, for example, not too willing to do the dirty work in the game, if you like, not too willing to track back and do their defensive duties. How do you think that'll go down with Jose?
Yeah, this is his biggest challenge, I would say, because obviously Real Madrid have Mbappe, Vinicius, Bellingham, now Jan Diomande, that I think he's a player more keen to do some dirty work, dirty job, running more, pressing, and so on. But yeah, that would be the key for Jose Mourinho. I was told that he will chase and he will push a lot Jude Bellingham to be his number 10. And that means having this or showing that quality with the ball, but at the same time running a lot, helping a lot the team in defense. And he should convince the stars to really work together and to really work for the team, because it has been a big handicap for the team in the previous season, of course.
There's a player we're going to be looking at a lot next season as well over here, Trent. The first signing Mourinho wanted to get through the door was Dumfries at right back. Do you worry for Trent game time next season?
Not really, because obviously he will have to deliver. But if you remember the first reports from early May, when Mourinho had spoken to the club to making plans about the transfer market, it was clear that he wanted a backup for the right back position, while for the left back position, since the beginning, he wanted a potentially starter left back. So his starter right back is expected to be Trent Alexander-Arnold. He's happy with him. But again, obviously this is football, and Dumfries is understood to be a strong competitor for Trent, and he should deliver to keep his spot in the starting lineup.
I mean, so Mario, some interesting signings. Dumfries, you talk about one of them there, Bernardo Silva, Canate, Jan Diomande, Marc Cucurella. What are the prospects realistically of them closing that 8-point gap with Barcelona?
Well, I feel that there is confidence at Real Madrid, also from those close to Mourinho, and even in the club. Speaking to those closest to the players, to the Real Madrid players, there is a feeling that the club has made some good efforts to rebuild the team and to put in a good team to be more competitive in the week to week in La Liga. And then obviously the Champions League is always the main goal for Real Madrid.
I want to ask you about Rodri now. Manchester City rejected the latest bid. Will they come in with an improved bid? And is that what Barcelona need, or do they need more defensive players as well?
Well, I think obviously Rodri is a great and a big signing for any team in the world. But I truly think that Real Madrid needed more than Barcelona. Barcelona have a lot of options and good options who have performed well over the last seasons at midfield. And on the contrary, I think Barcelona need especially a proper striker, a big striker. And let's see if they will find the money to do both deals. If I were Barcelona, I would have prioritized the striker.
Yes. Mario, thank you so much.
Thank you, Mario.
Thank you. Have a good day. Bye.
You too. The Athletic Spanish football writer, Mario Cortejena, with us there. Here's an interesting text. It's anonymous, but it's a good text. EFL Cup draw made last night, of course, Carabao Cup draw. So after watching the Carabao Cup draw last night, can you explain how West Brom were in the northern section of the draw and Walsall were in the southern section, when geographically Walsall are more northern than West Brom are? Just put all the teams together and get rid of this north-south rubbish. Thank you very much in that, for whoever said it's an interesting point. Now, still to come on Breakfast.
Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Spend £100 or more in-store or online as a trade account holder and you could win a brand new Ford Ranger. T's and C's apply.
Sheffield Wednesday legend Barry Bannon will be with us to look ahead to the new season for Wednesday in League One. Plus, we'll be asking Gabby whether he's worried about this season for Aston Villa. What are their aims in the Premier League, as well as, of course, the Champions League? 03717223344 is the number to have your say. And that was our breakfast preview with Travis Perkins.
Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Spend £100 or more at any Travis Perkins Hire or Benchmarks branch as a trade account holder, and you could win a brand new Ford Ranger. T's and C's apply.
Salah didn't play as much last season, but to not have Mo Salah, you know, your talisman, like, who's going to take that now? Isak should, but he's right to call it there, Egan. His injury record is horrendous. If he gets injured again, touch what he doesn't, who's the striker? Gakpo, false nine?
Apparently they're in for Bacola. I like him. I think he's top player.
Do you think he's a £130 million player?
Well, if Elliot Anderson's 10? How much they paid for it?
110.
Morgan Rogers, your mate, has gone to
117.
117 million.
No,
like Bacola,
crazy, isn't it?
Of course, PSG are going to say, well, he's 130 million. He won the Champions League, played in the World Cup.
But if you're Liverpool, is that exactly what you need off that left hand side?
Probably not. They need a replacement for Salah.
They need goals.
Yeah, they need goals.
Do you know what I mean? Barcola I agree. I love watching him. I feel like if I was a right back, I wouldn't sleep the night before playing against him. He's rapid. He's 6'2", wherever he is, long stride, quick, but he's not a finisher. The amount of times I've watched him and he's gone through one goal and he'll make the wrong pass and finishes are a bit wild and doesn't finish chances he should do. Liverpool need to be bringing in a winger who's going to get goals, because you can't rely on Isak. You can't. You should be able to. Wirtz isn't a goal scorer. You spent over 100 million for Wirtz, and he's not a goal scorer, mate.
It feels like it's a bit of a mess.
McAllister wasn't good last season. How's he going to come back after the World Cup? Szoboszlai is obviously a fantastic player. Gravenberch needed some help last season in that number 6 as well.
I just can't believe it. Liverpool, we're saying, Champions League. Yeah, we'd take Champions League.
I agree. Their fans won't like it.
Morning, 7:51, Tuesday, August the 11th. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling and Gabby Agbonlahor. Headlines this morning: Nottingham Forest face Leeds in the Carabao Cup, the only all-Premier League tie in the second round of the competition. Chelsea and Spurs have home games against Luton and Charlton, respectively. David Moyes returns to Preston. Sam, the Walsall fan, by the way, He's just texted to say, Jeff, the draw has cost us a trip to Newcastle due to the EFL being poor at geography. Leighton Orient at home, not quite as glamorous. Amazon founder and billionaire boss Jeff Bezos is reported to be nearing a deal to acquire a minority stake in Liverpool. Neil Atkinson from the Anfield Wrap had this to say about that on the Sports Bar last night.
There are no sound billionaires. None. And if you start from the position of the fact there are no sound billionaires, we've got a bit of a problem because Liverpool as a club is valued at £6 billion. The issue that we have, I'd say football in general, Liverpool in specific around this now has, is to go back to there's no sound billionaire points. There's no sound billionaires, but only billionaires can afford to invest in buying Liverpool.
Yeah, I'd ask a question straight away there. Neil, how many billionaires do you know to know that none of them are sound? How many of them you've met, mate, to know that none of them are sound? What a load of absolute...
I've not heard that song for a while, sound.
Yeah, you know, I mean, seriously, you know, if he comes in and takes a minority share of Liverpool, then surely Liverpool fans, the majority of them, would be rejoicing,
Exactly,
wouldn't they?
100%, yeah. Maybe more money, put them into the football club, more money to spend on transfers. Yeah. Don't see a problem with it.
And for more on all the day's biggest stories, head over to talksport.com. Let's move on to cricket. Now, this year's 100 will come to an end on Sunday, but with reportedly record low crowds, a rebranding of team names and a schedule squeezed in between test series, has it been a success? Has it been damaging to the county game? I'm delighted to say to join us now and answer some of those questions is the Sussex chairman, Ed Warner. Morning to you, Ed.
Good morning,
Ed. Hi there, Jeff. Morning, Gabby.
Look, Ed, I thought the money raised by the 100 was going to be the answer to all county cricket's problems. Has that not been the case with Sussex?
It's been helpful to us. We've got into our own pickle. I've just come in to try and sort out a financial mess. But the key is the 100 money is sitting ring-fenced with the ECB at the moment, and we can only really spend it on infrastructure projects to try and build out our grounds or maybe build conference facilities that will generate other income over time. So that's going to take years. Right now, what we're short of is the opportunity to have top-end cricket at Hove during the August summer holidays. We've got the Metro One-Day Cup, but it's not quite the same as the T20 Blast, which has been pushed to earlier in the season. So right now, on many days, our ground is empty, unused, and we'd like to have more cricket there at the height of summer, particularly when the summer's as good as this one.
What changes do you think that there can be made to the calendar to help Sussex?
I don't see the 100 being moved from August. That's baked into the agreements the ECB's got with all the franchise owners. So what I'd like to see is some of the brakes or restrictions lifted on the counties like us, the 11 of us that don't have 100 franchises, to play more white ball cricket at the height of the summer. Now, that could be T20, T10, it could be more 50 over, whatever it might be. We want some opportunity. We're not going to compete with the 100 because we're not going to be on the telly. We're not going to be on Sky or BBC in the same way the 100 is, but we want to get local fans into the ground, bring the kids in. Let's have something very child-friendly that will grow the cricket fans of the future. We don't like to see our ground unused, and that's what we're seeing too often at the moment, right in the height of a great summer.
Yeah. I mean, how many days are your grounds sort of used then during the height of summer? While the 100's on, how many days while the 100's on would Sussex County grounds be used?
We only get 4 50-over games at home, and that's not very many. You think about an average one a week, and we like to play much more often. Back in the day, you'd have the county championship going on at the height of summer. It's been pushed to either end of the season, but we just want more opportunity to play more cricket and get local fans in. And I don't think someone who lives in Brighton and Hove, who's got a family with a couple of kids, wants a day out of the cricket, they're not going to travel up to London to watch the 100 or travel over to Hampshire to watch the 100, but they could pop along on the bus, walk in, drive the car 5 minutes down the road, and then they're in seeing some great cricket, home again in time for tea. That's what we need to deliver.
Have a lovely day at home. I mean, what a total waste of facilities that is if you're only using it for 4 days during that time. Ed, can I ask you just... I think
it is okay. And when I look at the 100, you asked is it a success or not. When I look at it, it clearly works in London. They've been filling the grounds there because it's a massive city. They've been struggling elsewhere around the country, and that says a lot, I think, about the format, but it says a lot also about the ticket buying habits of the British public in sport. I watched the athletics last night on the telly. I'm going this weekend, and the stadium was barely half full for some fantastic athletics. It just shows you how hard it is these days to fill big stadia, even for the biggest events.
I mean, Sussex is in sort of special measures at the moment, isn't it? So, I mean, how has that happened, and how can you get out of that situation?
Look, we had a previous board who were over-optimistic about the money they could bring in from not just cricket, but from other events. And as a result, spent too much on the squad, broke the rules on the salary cap that the ECB set. And so as a consequence, we've been docked points and we've got to make sure our finances are in order. So I've come in, there's already a really good team there that have been right-sizing our cost base. I mean, that's a euphemism for cutting costs, but also making sure that the squad we've got for next year fits under a lower salary cap and that we can be financially sustainable. And we will be, but it's hard yards in a sport which doesn't have the spotlight that it really deserves to have right now. We need every help we can get to promote cricket, county cricket, because we're just one of 11 counties that doesn't have one of those franchises, isn't a test match host, and we live a tough existence. And it's a great sport and we need to promote it and grow it. And the more cricket we can have, the more opportunity we've got to get things right.
Yeah, I know, having a sports-loving son who lives down in Brighton, Ed, he would like nothing more than to spend a day or two at home in the sunshine, having a beer, watching the cricket, so he'd be right behind you.
Well, put him in touch with me and I'll host him there. I look forward to it.
Yeah, no, look, you got to let him pay his way. Got to let him pay his way.
He can buy his own beers.
Ed, thanks very much for joining us.
Thanks, Jeff. Thanks, Gabby.
Thank you, mate.
Ed Warner, the Sussex chairman there, on the problems facing county sides, suffering really while the 100 goes on and they have precious little action at their county grounds. Morning chap, says Andy, a fed up Newcastle fan. Liverpool having new billionaire owners, what difference does that make? Newcastle have more money than God but are not allowed to spend it. And I just want to say hello to Rob Dog, who's just had his right knee replaced and he's currently laid up in Stockton-on-Tees. Any chance of a shout out? Hope Man United do really well this season, especially Cobby Maino. Rob Dog, hope you're up and about again very shortly indeed. 7:58 coming up, we'll turn our attention to Aston Villa and whether Gabby's worried about the season ahead. 03717 223344 is the number to call to have your say, Villa fans. That's next.
Barcelona are now leading the race to sign Rodri from Manchester City, notwithstanding the loss that would be to City in a new era under Enzo Maresca. What's the latest on that? And is it the case that Real Madrid have dropped the ball here? Because it seemed to be, reading reports, that Real Madrid were in the driving seat with this one.
Yeah, Rodri wanted Real Madrid earlier in the window and Florentino Perez hadn't decided what kind of midfielder he was going for, which is why several names were linked, including Enzo Fernandez, and Real had to issue a statement saying we've had no contact with Enzo Fernandez. Jose Mourinho came in. Finally, they got the mandate from Perez to start negotiating financially, but Barca have basically hijacked this, although some sources say Barca were there even before the window opened and it was Real that kind of steamrolled in. And ultimately, Rodri, for family reasons, wants to go to Spain, but we've got a fascinating scenario now. Man City want to keep. Pep Guardiola never used to stand in players' ways, especially senior ones that had been long-serving and loyal to the club. But Enzo Maresca's new, and of course, if it's his say, he'll go to his board and say, keep him. If he doesn't renew, we'll let him leave on a free transfer in 2027. And now Barca are going to accelerate and bid, and they have full player buy-in. So Rodri wants Barcelona over Real Madrid, and I think there's a strong chance that this one happens. Man City are going to add another midfielder. Ayoub Boadi advanced talks. They've got other targets as well. Elliot Anderson has already come in. And in essence, it's whether City say Rodri deserves this move and follow that Pep Guardiola approach, or if they double down and say Enzo Maresca doesn't want him to leave, so we're going to make it really difficult.
Aguero, Solskjaer, Deeney, Watkins. Sure, you know all about those last-minute goals, but have you heard the one about the on-loan goalkeeper who saved his temporary employers from disappearing out the Football League and into almost certain financial oblivion? Back in 1999, Carlisle United, managed by Nigel Pearson, were fighting to stay in the Football League. Carlisle's finances were precarious with a capital P that season, leading to a scenario where, with 3 games to go, they had to ask the FA to sanction an emergency loan deal to bring in a goalkeeper. Swindon Town's Jimmy Glass arrived at the club. His efforts in his first 2 games earned the Cumbrians 2 draws. Those vital points meant that Carlisle went into their final game of the Division 3 season, now League 2, needing to beat mid-table Plymouth Argyle in front of their own fans and hope their relegation rival Scarborough didn't win against Peterborough at home. The game at the McCain Stadium finished 1-1, and with the same scoreline at Brunton Park deep into injury time, Scarborough's fans invaded the pitch en masse, believing their Football League status was secure, convinced they'd done enough to stay up. However, there'd be one more plot twist. Carlisle won a corner in the dying seconds, and up came Jimmy Glass. In one of those you couldn't make it up moments, Glass scored from a rebounded header and was promptly swamped by teammates and thousands of fans who quite simply couldn't believe what they'd just witnessed. As for Jimmy Glass, he became an overnight celebrity, but he never played for Carlisle again, and his playing career never really kicked on after that defining moment. He took on various jobs outside of football before finding his way back into the sport as player liaison officer at Eddie Howe's Bournemouth, and most recently the general manager at non-league Wimborne. Not the fairy tale ending to one of the most Hollywood moments in football, but the name Jimmy Glass will live on forever as the scorer of that goal, arguably the most important in any club's history.
Good morning, this is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling Gabby Agbonlahor, and Arnold Clark's Deal Drop. Get the new car feeling without the new car price. Discover some of their biggest savings and find your next car today, 8:05, Tuesday, August the 11th. On the way for you this morning, we'll focus on Newcastle's former Spurs man, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, has rejected a move to St James's Park. Is that a bullet dodged or a sign of the market that Newcastle is shopping in? Is Jamie Vardy on the way to West Ham? We'll focus on that and whether that's a perfect move for him and for the Hammers. And Jason Cundy believes Chelsea can win the league title. Has his hair transplant gone to his head? Or does he have a point? Couple of quick texts. We just heard from Ed Warner at Sussex. George in Chesterfield says, as a casual watcher of cricket, not a die-hard fan, I used to really enjoy switching on during the summer to some good county games. But as someone who doesn't follow it avidly, they've completely lost me on all the different formats and different teams for different competitions. They've got to simplify the product to get the average person invested in their local team's progress. And Paul says, we're talking about Villa and money, or we will be shortly. I just want Newcastle to punch at their weight. That's all you can ask to enjoy your football. I love South Shields and Newcastle in equal measure. I'm sick of the money and ego in football. Hey, Paul, I think Newcastle might do better than people expect, but South Shields National League North. I think they'll win it, mate. Good luck for the rest of the season. Oh, mention Villa. Villa back in action tomorrow night. It's live on talkSPORT, and they're going up against the European champions.
McGinn, Buendia! Emi Buendia curling one into the top left-hand corner, and the name on the trophy is Aston Villa.
He controls the team, he controls the media. He's a European king.
I think it's a bit of a confusing summer for Villa fans.
Trying to get in behind Sarr, and Kvaratskhelia scores! And it isn't to be for Arsenal, as Paris Saint-Germain celebrate back-to-back Champions League titles.
When you look at the team, the individuals, I don't see any weakness, you know. They are so strong in every compartment.
And this is where trusting the process gets you to European Cup final.
Look, Villa have been brilliant under Unai Emery, haven't they? Absolutely no doubt about that. He is, in my view, Gabby, a master tactician. Yes. But how worried are you, and how worried will he be that you sold Tielemans and Rodgers and Digne, and Onana's out through injury, and there are rumours that Konsa's not happy? Are you concerned?
I was concerned, but now I'm looking at the squad I've got in front of me, Jeff, and let's look at a starting lineup possible for Aston Villa. Martinez, Cash, Konsa, Torres, Martin, Kamara, Gomez, Manzambi, Buendia, McGinn, Watkins. I look at the squad depth they've got still. You got Bogard, Lindelof, Mings. There's a left back joining soon as well. Barkley, maybe Paulinho is going to sign as well from Bayern Munich. Garnacho, young lads, Hemmings and Maggio have been real good players this season. They've got bright futures at the club. Still got Tammy Abraham and a young Brazilian called Alisson. But is that squad of players good enough to finish top 5? No, it's not. But can they still finish top 7 and get European football next season? Every chance. But add that squad to the best manager in the league for me, Unai Emery. He'll get the best out of every single one of those players. And hopefully a couple more signings can come through the door. Because for me, Tielemans and Rodgers are massive losses. But what do you do, Jeff? Do you sit there and sulk? Or do you get on with it? And that's what this manager does. He's excited for the new challenge.
Yeah, and you mentioned Garnacho without choking there, which was a surprise considering your views on him in the past before he went to Villa. But seriously, do you think there's, and I wouldn't wish this on Villa because Emery's been brilliant, but, he's at the height of his powers now, his reputation goes before him. Is there a stage that you could potentially see coming where he thinks, I can't do this anymore with these limited resources or limited amounts that he's allowed to spend, and walks away?
I think there's always a worry, isn't there? Because you look at Eddie Howe, obviously leaving for similar reasons. But I think as long as Aston Villa are playing European football, I think this manager stays. I think if we was to finish out of the top 7 next season and no European football the season afterwards, I think that's when you look at it, because he's obsessed with European football. At the moment, Champions League football this season, yes, he'll be frustrated. Morgan Rodgers was, we call the gaffer's son. He was the gaffer's son. His main player, loved him, played every minute. To lose him would have hurt. But he knows that he's got owners there, Jeff, that have got the money to spend. It's not as if like when I was playing and Randy Lerner at times, didn't want to spend, didn't want to pay for big signings. We lost every player. He knows that the owners would spend if they could, so he'll understand the rules. He'll be there trying to work through them with the chief executives and the owners. So I think as long as Aston Villa are playing European football, he will stay. And he'll get the best out of all these players. Garnacho, listen, I haven't been a fan of him during his career, but if there's any manager that can try and get extra out of a player like Garnacho, it's Unai Emery, and hopefully he can.
Yeah. A lot of rumours at the moment about Paulinho. Would he fit the bill at Villa Park?
Yeah, for a one-season loan. Yeah, I mean, Onana, different sort of player to Onana. But when you look at that centre midfield, you do need cover. Ross Barkley, injury problems. He can't be your only cover in centre midfield for Kamara and Gomez. We know McGinn can play there, but the manager likes to play him off the left or right. So I think as an option, as cover, experienced player, isn't he, Paulinho? And I think that'll be another kick in the teeth for Newcastle because they're after him as well, aren't they?
What would be a satisfactory season as far as Villa are concerned this season?
I would say knockout stages of the Champions League, top 7, and try and get as far as you can in the FA Cup.
Yeah.
I think Aston Villa fans, after being spoilt last season, finishing in the top 4, winning the Europa League and losing two of your star players to go again and finish in European positions and get to knockout stages of the Champions League. And we saw last time Villa played in the Champions League, getting to the knockout stages allowed them to go and get Asensio and Rashford. So you never know. Maybe it happens again in January. The extra money from winning games in the Champions League. I think it's £3 million per win, isn't it? So that might help. Can they strengthen again in January? And then Villa have a better second half of the season. So you've got to be positive. There's no point looking back now at players that have left. Look forward. And maybe Manzambi can be the new Morgan Rogers.
Well, yeah, I mean, he comes with a big reputation, doesn't he? PSG Super Cup tomorrow. I mean, I jokingly called it a friendly.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a sort of glorified friendly, isn't it? It's taken more seriously, I think, in Europe than it is here. But big test for Villa against PSG.
And, you know, just every chance we'll get PSG in the Champions League when a draw's made. So a great test. Some of these players now can test themselves against an elite team. But this Super Cup, look at Spurs last season against PSG. 2-0 up, dominating PSG and end up crumbling and losing. It's a test, isn't it, Jeff, of like, where's every team at? Where are PSG at?
Yeah.
Might have all their players available. What's their fitness like? Have they trained enough? How many games have they played themselves? How fit are Aston Villa? So it's more a test for me to see where your team is. And if you win, fantastic. You won the Super Cup. If you lose, just another friendly, Jeff.
Yeah.
Go two ways.
Yeah.
But looking forward to seeing the players test themselves against the best team in the world.
Yeah, well, you need to be ready. You've got tough start the Premier League season, away to Brighton, opening game of the season, home to Arsenal, second game of the season. That's a tough start, mate.
Yeah, but look at us last season. We had a terrible start, didn't we? And people were saying the manager might walk, but then he turns it around. I think with this manager, even through tough times, he doesn't panic.
Yeah.
You know, he's so clever and such a tactician that even if we started the season off poorly, he's still confident he can turn it around.
Yeah.
You know? So, Aston Villa will be fine.
Good luck, mate, against PSG. Mike, the Cheltenham fan, makes an interesting point. We were talking cricket there and the problems facing Sussex County Cricket Club and, empty ground because they're not allowed to stage any games during the 100 or very few. And Mike says, look, we're all saturated with sport and choices, whether it's racing, cricket, football, athletics. We can't do it all. And this is obviously at a time when money is also really tight with most people with the cost of living. You're absolutely right. He said, just look at the Moto Grand Prix at the weekend. I thought, where's the crowd? It looked really empty. He's absolutely right. Cost of living, no question. People can't afford to be at absolutely every
I've heard the
event
tickets as well for the athletics. They're not as cheap as what I thought they would be, maybe.
Yeah.
I've got saying they're quite expensive.
The European Athletics Championship is their blue ribbon event of the year, if you like. Forget the Commonwealth Games. This, as far as track and field is concerned, this is what most leading athletes in Europe
to see
will be aiming
what a ticket
towards.
Would be, though, Jeff.
Yeah.
How much a ticket would be to get in? Is it 15 quid? Is it 20? Is it?
Well, I'm sure we can find out.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to find out because, like you said, money's tough. It's summer holidays. People want to save to go away on holiday.
Yeah,
it's difficult.
And that is the other thing at the moment, of course, as well. Generally speaking, at this time of the year, crowds are down because people are away on holidays and so on. And
are you saving as well for your season ticket? Yeah, football club.
Yeah,
the football's coming. Yeah.
Mike goes on to say, I can't wait for Saturday. Rotherham at home. My 51st year supporting Cheltenham. Good luck to the lads. Thanks, Mike. Coming up, with it looking likely that Jeff Bezos is going to buy a stake in Liverpool, we hear from a fan next who's not happy with the idea. 03717 223344 is the number to call to have your say. There aren't any options for Marcus Rashford on the table, So there were rumours about Turkey. He's not going to Turkey. I don't care. Mo Salah's gone there, which everyone was absolutely staggered by, I think. But he's not going to Turkey. I don't see where Marcus Rashford's options are. He needs to, get on with it and knuckle down. But do you think he'll start?
Well, if you was thinking about what United have, and if you think of Cunha and Mbeumo in those wider areas, I think Marcus is going to find it difficult to knock one of those out of the way. because Mbeumo gives the perfect balance off the right side with his left foot, Cunha with his pace. Šeško, I think, gradually started to really get up to speed, and I happen to think with his height and everything else that he possesses, I think he could be a really impressive centre forward for United. So I think Marcus has got it full on to get in the United team. But the thing with him is, the thing with Marcus Rashford that I've seen in the last 18 months he's been out on loan, it's flashes, you see. It's flashes. It's only bits and pieces. I don't think there's ever been a consistent thread running through everything that Marcus is doing. He had a little spell obviously at Barcelona, not easy to go there, and he did reasonably well. Same at Villa, but there has to be more at 28 years of age and to Marcus's game than just these little moments, cameos here and there for 10 and 20 minutes. And he's got to be more significant in any team that he plays for. That's what I think when I look at him. Undoubted talent, but it's just bits and pieces you ever see.
Morning, this is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling and Gabby Agbonlahor. Almost 20 past 8. We were talking about the prices of tickets for the European Athletics Championships. A couple of quick texts. Scott says, I considered taking my two daughters to the athletics tonight. £110 a ticket. No wonder it's empty. I'm not sure it's empty, Scott, but I think you probably can still get tickets. And Toby says, I had a friend go to the athletics the other day, £60. He paid. Why not make things more accessible for everyone instead of charging through the nose for every event? He said, I'm a Fulham fan, and tickets for Chelsea are going for £125. Makes my blood boil.
I like athletics.
Yeah.
And for tonight, the cheapest ticket is £26. If I want to take my 4 kids and my partner, I mean, I'm not paying close to 200 quid, Jeff. Got to make it a bit more affordable. You know, is there a deal for families? So
yeah, there are deals for families, in fairness to them. I
£150 for the highest you can pay. It's not realistic.
Yeah. I mean, Joey says, look, morning, boys. 2 tickets for me and my daughter for the athletics have cost 39 quid. Not the best seats, but something to remember. Would have been 150 quid for seats next to the track, and it was dead down there, completely overpriced. That's from Joey, Liverpool fan in Handsworth. The organisers say 50% of all tickets are going for below £30. which is great, but it also means that 50% of all tickets are going for above £30. So it's a lot of money, isn't
and
it?
as an athlete, you want to be running in front of big crowds, don't you, as well?
Oh, of course you do. Amy Hunt winning a gold medal. She wants to be running and winning that gold medal in front of a
adrenaline of
packed house.
Exactly.
Packed house. News all over the papers this morning is that Amazon founder and billionaire Jeff Bezos is nearing a deal to acquire a minority stake in Liverpool. Most fans would probably want investment in the club. He'll certainly bring that. Michael is a Liverpool fan. Good morning, Michael.
Morning, gentlemen. How are we doing?
Yeah, good, thanks, mate. What do you think of the prospect of Jeff Bezos getting involved in your football club?
Unfortunately, I agree with the boy for the Anfield Wrap. Look, all investment is good investment, and it's hard to find someone who's going to want to invest for purely fan reasons. But Jeff Bezos is a questionable character, and I'm not. It's my opinion, but we're also going off of what's reported in the media. His reputation, his work ethic, what he's done with Amazon. Amazon's 50% of good things and 50% of very questionable behaviour when it comes to employee conditions, work conditions, warehouse conditions, the way they rip people off sometimes. And it's hypocritical for me. I use Amazon, I know I do, and I want to see Liverpool up once he is successful and do well, but he's a questionable character, and I don't know if I want that reputation anywhere near my club.
Yeah, I take the point. I have no idea whether he's a questionable character or not, to be brutally honest. I don't know enough about him to be absolutely honest. But look, I'm certain, Michael, that people will share your opinion. Let's just see what happens. Thank you very much indeed, mate. All right, and more texts coming in about money. Morning, Jeff and Gabby. I'm taking my two lads to Anfield for the Fulham game. Kids' tickets, £9 each. Bargain. Absolutely correct.
I just had a message, Jeff, of a friend. He said, I was there last night at the Athletics and the atmosphere was terrible. Such a shame.
Really? I think it'll build during the course of the week. The early days of these big championships are often... There'll be one or two finals
for the athletes.
But as the week goes on, I'm sure it will build. I certainly hope so. Anyway,
is this bigger than the Commonwealth?
Yeah, much. Yeah, so for track and field perspective, obviously the Commonwealth Games has got other sports in it as well. Yeah. So for things like netball, that is the pinnacle of their year. Yeah. But for track and field, European Championships is on a different level.
Chose to do instead of the Commonwealth
Games.
Games. Okay.
Different level than the Commonwealth Games. Yeah. All right, let's get the latest odds with Coral and Simon Clare.
The Coral Daily Download on talkSPORT with Coral. We're here for the fans this season. 18 plus gambleaware.org.
Simon, good morning to you.
Good morning, Simon.
Nothing overpriced. Nothing overpriced about me. You'll be reassured to know. So
yeah, cheap and cheerful, eh, Simon? Well, cheap anyway.
Exactly. It's very cheap. Exactly, and sometimes cheerful.
Brilliant. Look, we've been talking Villa. Let's have a couple of bits of pricing Villa up.
Be nice, Birmingham City Coral.
Yeah, I'll ask about the Super Cup in a second. So, but what sort of price would they be for the top four this season?
It's quite funny, actually. I was just listening to you chatting away about Villa, Gabby, and we for the top four, obviously it's going to be a tough ask that there. 4-1 to make the top four, so that's a tough ask. The traders actually this year have priced up top five. It's usually top four and top six, but we know that fifth place these every year now seems to be going the way of the British sides or the English sides for Champions League, and they're 5-2 for a top five. They're 6-5 for a top six. And would you believe it? The one market we haven't priced is top seven. And that's what you think they're going to finish. You haven't got that. But I mean, so I suppose if they're 6-5 to finish in the top six, you'd almost be saying they're a shade of odds on to make that seventh spot, which you've kind of got your eye on to get into your football. But I mean, I must admit, I had a quick look. What's interesting, actually, just to ask you a question, it's funny that the teams ahead of you in the betting are Arsenal, City, Liverpool, Man United and Chelsea, which I think makes sense. But essentially, the Spurs are ahead of you in the betting, given their last two seasons. Is that reflect the possibility of a big improvement?
I think they should. Yeah, I think they should finish above us. I just feel like the players that they've brought in. I mean, it's incredible. Robertson, his experience, Senesi, Van Heck. You've got Fernandes and Tonali in midfield. James Maddison's back from injury. They've got near enough a whole new team out there. Yeah. And they're still going to spend as well. New manager, obviously De Zerbi as well. So I'll back Spurs to finish above Villa, yeah.
And then in terms of the teams you fear who might come and take seventh, is it Bournemouth, Brentford?
Yeah, but I look at like Bournemouth, for instance, playing in Europe. It's going to take its toll on that squad of players.
Lost their manager.
Exactly. So, yeah, I don't think Bournemouth will be up there this season.
No, I agree. What odds about them lifting the European Super Cup then against PSG?
Cheap trophy, that. Your team, Simon.
I know, should have been. That would have been really good fun, wouldn't it? We'd have a lot of banter. But instead, exactly, it wasn't meant to be. PSG are the favourites. In 90 minutes, they're 8-13. It's 11-4 the draw, 7-2 Aston Villa. But the all-important lifting of the trophy, it's 2-5 PSG and 7-4 Aston Villa to lift that trophy on tomorrow night, isn't it? So, I mean, lots of big games this week. The Community Shield, obviously, on Sunday, and Birmingham's opening fixture with the coral logo on the shirt front on Saturday. But I suppose this comes first, Gabby. So we are concentrating on your side. Would you be a backer at 7-4, or are you just going to watch and cross?
I was going to watch and enjoy. Listen, it's going to be difficult, isn't it? But like I said, look at Spurs last season. You know, they dominated for most of the game, 2-0 up against PSG, but ended up losing the game. You don't know how fit this PSG side are. It's still early, isn't it, in the season? So let's wait and see.
It should be good fun, though.
Yes, looking forward to it, mate.
Simon, while we've got you on, I've got to ask you about, our Swedish team. You'll be the defending champions, the Village team who won the title in Sweden last season. They're having a shocker of a season this season. They're about 5th from bottom. They lost again at the weekend. But they are involved in Europe. They're playing Slovan Bratislava now. I know they were favourites for the first leg and they lost at home. What chance of them turning it round?
Yeah, I mean, in the 90 minutes betting, I mean, they're just 3-1 to win this game. It's 5-2 the draw, 10-11 Slovan Bratislava. But to actually, they're 2-1 down from the first leg, away from home now. Their form is poor. I was reading the reviews, knowing that this is the team you are following closely, and it's 5-1. They can actually overturn the deficit and get through to the final playoff round. 1-9. Slovan Bratislava, I didn't realise it. Whether read the previews, is managed by Yaya Toure.
Oh, really? I didn't know that either.
Yeah, well, unless I'm hoping the preview is accurate. But yeah, apparently his first managerial post. He's won 5 out of 6 or something already. He just took over in June. So if Slovan Bratislava go and beat Mialbi, Jeff, maybe we should follow Slovan Bratislava and Yaya Toure for
Yeah, maybe.
But anyway, I think it's funny when you follow these sites, because it's a load of qualifying tonight. I'm sure. Football punters will probably find some way to have a few accas for a bit of fun. But Mialbi has grabbed my attention now. I know you're a fan of theirs, Jeff.
Coral Racing Club horse running today, Simon.
We have, she's a fun mare, Catalyst. She either spits the dummy out and runs no race, or she runs quite well. And she was 4th last time, 2nd last time. She's actually strung 2 decent races together, and she runs at Nottingham in the 7:15 p.m. She does wear blinkers just to keep her mind on the game, and if she puts her best foot forward, she could run quite well. But she's 18-1. Seems to be drifting in the betting, so my confidence on this lot isn't being reflected in the betting markets. But you never know. And Chris Grassick, her trainer, is a good young up-and-coming trainer, ridden by Ryan Kavanagh, a good up-and-coming conditional. So it's a young team going to Nottingham tonight for the Coral Racing Club. So we'll cross fingers in the 7:15 for Catalyst.
Brilliant. Simon, thanks very much.
Thank you, Simon.
Cheers, guys.
Top man.
And that was a look at the latest odds. We're at Coral 18+, gambleaware.org. Stephen in Hertfordshire text, he said, Jeff, the price bashing is absolute rubbish. We're going to the European Athletics Championships at the weekend. We paid less than £60 for a family of 4. People knocking the pricing are the selfie snapping brigade, who are only prepared to go to events if they're in the front row of the World Cup final. Go and enjoy the atmosphere and help to create that special atmosphere. You know what, Steve? I think you're absolutely right. Coming up, Jason Cundy has said Chelsea can win the league. Has he gone mad? Does he?
The Coral Daily Download on talkSPORT with Coral. We're here for the fans this season. 18+, gambleaware.org.
Max Dowman could be like it's like having a new player.
What's that talent?
Because surely this has to
And
be
how
a
many
season.
players play on his side, by the way?
Yeah.
Tell me how many players are out there on that side where Downman was playing on the right a lot of the time. Do you know what I mean? I mean, they are just stacked, caked out wide.
Do you back Dowman to have... I mean, I think it was his breakthrough season last season, but he was in
15th
and out.
breakthrough.
Yeah, I know, it's absolutely mad. But do you think that this could be a season where he's regularly starting and making a regular difference?
I think he's a special talent. I think he's at the right club. I think Arteta will, they'll have a lot of games this year, and obviously, Champions League as usual. You'll see him more this season than last season. That kid is a star in the making, and he looks like he's made of the right stuff, and he's very exciting every time you watch him. So when you see players like him in Rio at Liverpool, the future's very bright for the English national team, right?
Without a doubt. I think that come January, Arsenal fans might be looking back at the Vinicius Junior story and thinking, we didn't need him, because look at what Max Dowman's doing in the Premier League.
Yeah.
And I'm not comparing him to Vinicius Junior before people shoot me down. What I'm saying is that in Max Dowman, you have the potential of a world-class talent. And if you continue to nurture him and release the handbrake on the minutes and on the game time, and I know you're protecting him as a young player, but if you do want to play a slightly more attacking, entertaining brand of football, then Max Dowman is the man to hang your hat on, because he's something special.
No, I love the look of him, but let's not kill the kid either and put too much on him at 15, 16. But they're stacked. I mean, I know everyone's worried about the left side, Martinelli, obviously Trossard's now gone, and all those things, but I still look across their forward line and go, Arsenal could win the league again with what they've got.
Over the last few years, Formula One has gone from elitist and insular to a global entertainment brand. The transformation's down to American investment group Liberty Media, who cultivated a new image for the sport since buying it in 2016. Better access to drivers, improved content on social media, and tapping into the US market have given F1 a massive boost in both attention and revenues. But is everyone happy? The fans certainly are, as evidenced by Drive to Survive. Almost 7 million people per season have tuned in to get all the gossip and all the drama from the paddock. The extra exposure means the drivers can demand a higher salary too. In 2010, the top drivers were earning $20 million a year, which isn't bad. But now, the very best earn 3 times that, with Max Verstappen getting a whopping $65 million in 2025. But money doesn't always buy happiness. Some drivers, including Verstappen, don't like the pageantry the changes have brought about. In Las Vegas in 2023, Verstappen said the drivers were made to look like clowns, and the event was 99% performance and 1% race. Some purists who still watch the sport feel the same, and that the spirit of competition has suffered. But Formula One and Liberty Media don't look like slowing down anytime soon. So expect more races, major events and exclusive access in future.
Morning, 25 to 9, Tuesday, August 11th. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling Gabby Agbonlahor and Arnold Clark. It's the perfect time to upgrade your car. Get 2 years free servicing when you buy a used car in the upgrade event. Check it out online. Rocker from Catterick Garrison says, Jeff, tickets for the European Athletics are £110 for one adult, on the evenings when big events are on, like the men's 100 metres. No wonder there are empty seats. And Steve, by the way, who texted a few minutes ago, said he's going to take the family at the weekend and it's 60 quid for 4. Brilliant. But he's just sent a PS. He said it's the parking and the logistics which are the real outrage. So, Steve, tell us how much is the parking then as well? Because you forget to add things like that on, don't you? It's the parking, and then if you're there with your family, it's the food, the drinks.
Jeff, don't get me started, though, on parking, just in general.
Why?
Just in, say you're driving around and you're like, I need to pull over.
Yeah.
It's going to cost you. There's nowhere to pull over now. Everywhere you have to pay to park.
Yeah.
Everywhere, even on the side of the road. Look up, camera on you got to park. They really do get their money, don't they?
Yeah.
Honestly,
it's
incredible,
and it can be incredibly expensive.
You can't park anywhere. You know, sometimes you could park there for 5 minutes and jump in.
Yeah.
Now come back, ticket on your car. Like they're really on it now.
Yeah. I mean, I know when I got to Portugal, I don't drive when I'm there at all, but the car parks by the beaches and that they're free.
Exactly.
You know, so
here. Like, if you go to Bournemouth, around Bournemouth, like, all the best finding parking.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Anyway, let's not moan.
I know. We don't like to moan.
I don't like the moan. No. Don't text. I know. Right, are Chelsea genuine title contenders? Fresh from his holiday, Jason Cundy returned to the airwaves with a bang.
Joker.
He was alongside fellow Chelsea fan and broadcaster Rory Jennings. He thinks his beloved Blues have enough to go all the way this season.
There is no reason why Chelsea cannot win this title. In fact, I'm going to say it. Chelsea win the title.
Oh!
Chelsea win the title. There is something about Chelsea. There is something about what we have got a cheat code. I'm not proud to say this, but we can go and win the title for a number of reasons. One, have you seen our front three? João Pedro, Morgan Rogers and Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer's at a rest. He's been absolutely flogged. João Pedro's had a rest. Our midfield, the recruitment at the back, looks like almost certainly we're going to be playing a 3 at the back with someone called Xabi Alonso that knows how to win a title. 1 game a week. We saw how beneficial that can be when Conte took over Chelsea. Went to 3 at the back. Chelsea win the title. History is going to repeat itself. No, I never go out on a limb and talk like this about Chelsea. I said Arsenal win the title for the last 3 seasons, and eventually they did. I'm going Chelsea. You Gooners, you should be fearful of Chelsea.
Is he just winding people up, or has he got a point?
I think he might be jet lagged, maybe. He's been away, hasn't he, for 3 weeks. Been in the Maldives. No chance Chelsea win the title. Will they finish in the top 3? Every chance. Top 4, definitely. But I still think there's holes in that squad of players. Losing Cucurella's massive. They didn't have the best defensive record last season as it is. Losing Cucurella, best left back in the league. We know Reece James' injury problems as well. Could continue next season. Set in midfield, of course. Caicedo, Fernandes, if they keep fit. And if Fernandes stays. But I just look at, like, strikers. I think Welbeck will have a lot to say next season for Chelsea. But João Pedro, Welbeck, Delap. Yes, Palmer and Rodgers will be fantastic together and combined. Neto might go to Manchester City still. I'm not sure that squad of players has enough, Jeff. I know it's only 1 game a week, but I'd see Arsenal as a stronger side.
Yeah, I do too, but they do have some options. We've got Estevao as well, you know. I think a lot will hinge on Cole Palmer rediscovering his spark.
Yep.
I like the fact they've signed Lacroix. I think they'll do a good job.
Colwell's back from injury.
Yeah, Colwell makes a massive difference to them.
Goalkeeper, though.
And Jason's not the first one to say this, by the way. It says Gabby obviously hasn't seen our new signing Palestra play. He's better than Cucurella already. And I had a few messages about that yesterday as well. And I haven't seen him play.
Big statement, better than Cucurella.
Yeah,
for me, he's after Mendes maybe at PSG. He's the second best left back. Yeah, it's a big statement.
Yeah. For what it's worth, I think they could be the biggest challengers to Arsenal this season.
If they're better than Man City?
Yeah, possibly.
So, yeah.
Possibly.
I just don't think you win the league with Sanchez in goal. That's the problem. They haven't got a top goalkeeper as well. You know, whenever you watch Chelsea try and play out from the back, giving the ball away. You know you can press the Chelsea keepers.
Yeah, and as with Andy Townsend yesterday, and we touched on that. But the big question is, where do you find an upgrade on Sanchez? I'm not sure.
Well, there's a lot better than him. I mean, sometimes you watch him, don't you? It's chaos. It reminds me a bit of like when Onana was at Manchester United, just chaos. The ball comes back to him, he's taking his time, his foot's on the ball as if he's Emi Martinez, great on the ball from the back, but he's not.
But look how tough Manchester United found it to find a top goalkeeper. Liverpool have signed Mamardashvili. That hasn't really come off.
Of course,
you know?
yeah. But at least they've still got Alisson there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Manchester United, Lamens is a lot better than Onana was. But I just think Chelsea, all the money they spend, surely you go out and say, I need a top goalkeeper if we're going to go and win the Premier League.
Yeah. David says Xabi Alonso a complete unknown in the league. 1 or 2 good seasons in Germany, failed at Madrid. Don't count your chickens. Obviously he's not the first or the last to fail at Madrid, by the way, but what he did at Leverkusen was absolutely sensational. But David, you are right, he is an unknown in this league.
If they click, Jeff.
Yeah.
I mean, Colwell and the Quark at the back, you fancy that centre-back partnership. But if Esteval, Palmer and Morgan Rogers, who I love, if they click, Welbeck, Delap, João Pedro, whoever it is, I think they'll definitely be in the top 3.
Yeah. Just one more word on prices at the Athletics. Jill says, we, the Coleman family, were on our way to this morning's athletics session. All heats, no finals. Adults, £30. Kid, £15 for mid-range seats. It's good value. We like seeing the range of athletes. However, parking at the Park and Ride for 3 hours, £25.
Wow.
Goodness me.
Wow. 3 hours?
Yeah. At the Park and Ride. The Park and Ride is to try and keep people, just to stop congestion, isn't it, around the area and such like you think would be.
Well,
if
you live 10 minutes away, Jeff, you're better off just getting a taxi, aren't you? You're Birmingham-based.
Right, it's been a wild summer up at St James's Park so far, and not everyone saw it coming.
You don't have to sell this summer. It's all paper nonsense. You haven't got a clue.
It's the end of an era with some players going, Tonali Kamara's going, and with Eddie Howe going as well. It really is the end of what's been an incredible era.
We don't have to sell. It's so funny.
To lose your big 3 players must be a blow, and obviously they're going to go down a different direction, it looks like.
It's all paper nonsense. You haven't got a clue.
So many transitions at the moment. There are many players left, big players, legends for the club left.
There's been spouting FFP nonsense for 3 months, and we don't have to sell. It's so funny.
Gordon Tonali Kamara has gone, so too Eddie Howe. Focus has shifted to signing players aged 20 or under. I think 4 of their signings this season are under 20. Reports were they were trying to sign the Spurs midfielder Pierre-Emile Højbjerg from Marseille. talkSPORT understands Højbjerg's rejected the move. Gabby, I think they've dodged a bullet. I mean, I really do. I know they wanted experience. He's 31. He's done well at Marseille. But his last season at Tottenham, he made 8 Premier League starts. He didn't play successive Premier League games at all. I think he's incredibly average.
I agree. Strange option as well. And when I watched him, he sort of had a bit of an ego, didn't he, Højbjerg? Like, is he going to come to Newcastle and really be the player that you want, the character that you want, the fighter who wants to be at the football club? I think it was a strange player to go for. I think if they miss out on Paulinho again to Aston Villa, they lost out on Manzambi to Aston Villa, they lost out on Munoz to Liverpool. It's getting a bit frustrating, Jeff, isn't it, if you're involved in Newcastle as a fan or working at the football club, missing out on all these players. What's the reason? What would you say the reason is, Jeff?
Well, I mean, the problem is, if that's the market that they are shopping in, where are they going to get an outstanding player from?
Wouldn't an outstanding player go to Newcastle at the moment? All the top players have left. Managers left.
Yeah. I mean, I tell you what, I went through this yesterday.
Yeah.
Not all the top players have left. Livermento's still there, and Lewis Hall is still there. Joe Linton is still there. They brought in a clutch of, Sean Stoyer. A lot of people are raving about him, saying he's going to be absolutely fantastic. Well, we will find that out. But I would be concerned if that's the market they're shopping in. I'm also be concerned from a Newcastle perspective. Pierre-Emile Højbjerg is 31.
Exactly.
Why are you trying to sign a 31-year-old? You want some experience in there. And you've got some experience, by the way, with Joe Linton in midfield. And I think Lewis Miley's an excellent player, by the way, too. Jacob Ramsey and so on. But my question mark, why do you want someone who's 31? You should be looking, if you want experience, at 26, 27, 28-year-old.
Yes, I totally agree. And I think with Newcastle and a new manager, he has to get the best out of Elanga, Voltemada, Vissa. Nearly 200 million, Jeff, for these 3 players. That's a big investment from the football club. Those players themselves have to step up
Yeah.
Especially Elanga, 0 Premier League goals last season. He's got to do more.
Yeah.
Wissa was very good for Congo, wasn't it, the World Cup?
Yeah, and scored 2 in the Premier League the weekend.
Should have scored against us. We hit the post, didn't he? And so I think those players have to step up. Jacob Ramsey will get even better. He's a top player. Like you said, Louis Smiley's a top player. Joe Linton there. So it's not all doom and gloom. I feel like Newcastle fans have to understand now it's gone. Like Villa, Jeff, you've lost some of your top players, but you know what? You've still got a healthy squad there. It might be different goals now for Newcastle, not top 4, but can they look at top half or top 7, top 8? That's what they should do.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly the case. I did my little look at the Premier League and where I thought teams might finish, and I've got Newcastle in 7th. I don't think it's all doom and gloom at all as far as they're
Look like they've got an energetic manager as well, haven't they? Like, he looks like he's passionate. He'll be up and down that touchline. If he plays the right football, the fans will warm to him and support the team.
Yeah, comes with a big reputation. Of course, reputations are hard to make, but much more easy to lose, aren't they? Yes. But we shall see, and certainly wish him well. Still to come on Breakfast.
Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Spend £100 or more at any Travis Perkins Hire or Benchmarks branch as a trade account holder, and you could win a brand new Ford Ranger. T's and C's apply.
We'll kick off the build-up to the EFL, which returns this weekend with Sheffield Wednesday's Barry Bannon. Gabby will rank the best front threes in the Premier League next season. And up next, we'll ask the question, is West Ham the perfect destination for Jamie Vardy? West Ham fans, do you want him? 03717 223344 is the number to have your say. That was our breakfast preview with Travis Perkins.
Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Spend £100 or more with a Travis Perkins trade account, and you could win a brand new Ford Ranger. T's and C's apply.
Jamie Vardy assessing all options. We know he was training at Leicester, but there was never a possibility of a return there. He actually had the possibility of doing 1 extra year in Italy, but it was subject on securing safety, so that never happened. And now he's a free agent. And West Ham may be opportunistic to this possibility. At the moment, those close to Vardy say that he's had several options, including from the MLS as well, and is basically just assessing. And don't forget, West Ham are starting to become well-stocked in terms of sources of goals, because Manor Solomon will complete his transfer to West Ham from Tottenham today. £5 million, £2 million in add-ons. He's got permission to undergo a medical as well. So Vardy, I think, is going to take his time. And for free agents, they're not bound by the deadline day. They can sign at any point. So let's see whether West Ham decide to move. But I'm told by those on the player side that Vardy is going to think very carefully before making his next decision.
Did I see Troy Parrott? West Ham are trying to get him as their main striker, the Irish boy.
Yeah, that's possible as well. I mean, there's quite a high valuation, and rightly so, because he ultimately has been in excellent form. Ajax have added a couple of attack-minded options, but they were there for a little bit as well. And I think Parrott and West Ham could be one to watch. But when you kind of compare the two, you've got Parrott in form, younger, more expensive, Vardy, free agent, but still a relatively high wage, you would imagine, as well. So it wouldn't surprise me if West Ham had one more, and that's maybe where these Vardy links come from.
Good morning. 9 minutes away from 9, Tuesday, August the 11th. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with Arnold Clark. It's the perfect time to upgrade your car. Get 2 years free servicing when you buy a used car in the upgrade event. Check it out online. I'm Jeff Stelling. Gabby Agbonlahor is with me. Sai has texted, as a Toon fan, I'm really optimistic with the new manager and new players. Gordon and Tonali were poor for us in the league. Refresh was needed. With less games, we'll finish above Gabby's Villa. You've weakened your team far more, he says.
Pardon? Far more than Newcastle? Listen, I've said this before. Newcastle and Villa, we're brothers, Jeff. We're PSR brothers. Let's not turn on each other. We've got to stick together.
Yeah, I've got another text here which just says, why sign a 31-year-old? Granit Xhaka. Say no more. And it's a very good point. I completely accept it. Except that, in my opinion, Granit Xhaka, far 100%. Better player than Højbjerg.
100%,
far better.
Yes, I agree.
Now, could we be seeing this man on the move this summer?
And he's played it into Vardy, inside the area. It's Vardy against the goalkeeper. It's Jamie Vardy, who slides it beyond David De Gea to become the first ever player to score 11 goals in successive 11 Premier League games.
Jamie Vardy has gone from working in a factory to being a cult hero playing for the national team and winning the league.
But the reasons why Jamie Vardy, in part, has this attitude is because of the journey that Jamie Vardy went on.
He's their greatest player ever.
Well, he will be on the move, that's absolutely guaranteed. Because the side, it's Cremonese, wasn't he, playing for in Italy, were relegated. And consequently, he will be leaving them. Just a question of where he goes. And West Ham, reportedly, are one of those sides who are interested in him. Well, he'll be in 40 in January.
No brainer, though, isn't it, Jeff?
I think so, yeah. I think
Just seems like the contract that he will accept is a contract fair for the role he's going to play. You know, he's not going to be maybe a starter, but Jamie Vardy's a player that I reckon for another season can still score goals in the Championship.
Yeah.
For sure.
Do you think he'll be demanding big money?
Oh, well, I don't think he'll get it if he is, but I don't know. What do you reckon? In the Championship, West Ham, and because you hear reports, don't you, Jeff? Like, oh, he's got loads of options. Well, the season started.
Yeah.
So sometimes you hear those reports and they're not true. Maybe like he hasn't got the options, or maybe what he's asking for. Maybe he lowers the demands of wages and goes to West Ham, and you get bigger appearance fees and stuff as well into your deal at that age.
I mean, look, it's worth bearing in mind as well. To show his no-back number. A lot of people were surprised when he went to Italy, me included. He was named Serie A Player of the Month in November.
Exactly.
First Englishman to achieve that, I think. So that shows that he didn't score many goals, some 7 league goals, but this was in a real struggling side, yeah. See, West Ham being linked with Troy Parrott as well. Now, they've had an offer of £15 million turned down by AZ. I would say Troy Parrott's done brilliantly in Holland, and he's also done brilliantly for the Republic. I think £15 million is almost insulting. It's not enough.
No, I agree. He's a star, isn't he? You know, what he's done for the Republic of Ireland, done one at AZ as well.
Yeah.
And I think he'll be a star at West Ham as well. They need someone in there, don't they? Because Castellanos and Pablo, they were good players last season, didn't really set it on a light in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Will they stay? Will there be players that still leave as well?
Yeah, I think Castellanos has made it. Look, he played at the weekend against Portsmouth in the Carabao Cup. He scored twice, but he's made it pretty clear, or his people have made it clear, that he would like a move, that he doesn't want to play in the Championship and scoring goals in games like that against Portsmouth. That's just going to make him more in demand, isn't it?
And also, Jeff, like I said a couple of weeks ago, Nuno Santo needs players that want to be there, because you'll see it in performances where you're going to some tough away grounds in the Championship, Jeff, on a Tuesday and Wednesday night, and you're like, oh, I'm getting kicked left, right and centre here. This is difficult. I'm maybe not scoring the goals I thought I'd score. You want players that want to be at West Ham, want to fight for the badge, want to get West Ham promoted straight away. So get rid of the players that want to leave, let them go. Bring in your Troy Parrotts, bring in your Jamie Vardys. I think they should have tried harder to keep Callum Wilson. I know he ended up staying in the Premier League at Brentford, but he would have been fantastic for the Championship as well. So, I still think West Ham will be up there.
Yeah. In a very short price, I've got to say. You think it was something like 7-4 favourites to win the Championship. I think that is too short. But they made the right start, certainly against Portsmouth, coming from behind, winning by 3 goals for a massive crowd. I mean, 53,000 for a first round game in the Carabao Cup. Absolutely brilliant. I mean, and by the way, 9,000 of those were Pompey fans, so both sides take a bow for that. That was brilliant.
I think it's excitement as well, isn't it, for like fans when the football's back?
Yeah.
Like they would have loved the World Cup, but nothing beats your club team.
Your own team, always. Don't forget, EFL Championship begins on Friday. talkSPORT's got 7 live commentaries across the weekend, including Wolves against Blackburn, Borough v Lincoln, Burnley against West Ham, and Cardiff against Wrexham. We are your home of the EFL. Dan, the Newcastle fan, says, I've got a better one. Why sign a 31-year-old? What about when we signed Kieran Trippier from Atletico? Best right back in the club's history. Age is just a number if the right player is signed. And there you have it in a nutshell, Dan. If the right player is signed. And I would just suggest to you that Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, and I pointed out, last season at Tottenham, nowhere near nailing down a regular place in the side. 8 Premier League starts, didn't make consecutive Premier League starts during the course of that season. He's done brilliantly at Marseille, but the French League isn't the Premier League in terms of,
he's not a player
competitiveness
at all.
And that's the point I was making. I could completely agree with you. A Sunderland fan made the point, signing Granit Xhaka, 31-year-old, done brilliantly for them.
Of course, the age is
better player than Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, in my opinion, anyway.
Agreed.
Okay. 8:58 up next. Gabby will tell us who he thinks has the best front 3 heading into the new season.
I totally got going for Vinny Jr., but I don't get going for just another one. And
not Barcola. There's lots of reports that
I don't see Barcola at the sort of levels that others do. Clearly,
145 million.
I don't see
having
him
a laugh.
I don't see him at anything like that sort of money. I really don't. I think he is way behind Kvaratskhelia and Desiree Doué. Personally, I think they're far better players. I don't think he's got the end product in his game to warrant 140 odd million quid. No chance. And I don't think I'd swap Martinelli for him. I think I would.
For Barcola?
No, I'm honestly, because I think Martinelli knows this division, has proven himself now to be a valuable member of Arsenal's team. And I don't see that it's that much of a massive trade up for the sort of money that they'd need to invest in him.
Yeah, I mean, I have to disagree with you there, Andy. I think Martinelli, for me, I've just run out of a little bit of patience with him. 1 goal last year in the Premier League. He was good in the Champions League. But this has been an area that Arsenal have struggled with for a number of seasons. And I think it will be really, really disappointing for Arsenal not to address it in a bigger way than they've done already. Solis has shown some really good signs in pre-season. I'm putting my eggs in the Barcola basket, but maybe I'm just
not going to pay 145 million pounds for him. They're just not.
I don't.
If that's what, and okay, there'd be some negotiation available there, but seriously.
It's not often you associate fan power with Chelsea Football Club, but one of the shining examples of it lies with a group called the Chelsea Pitch Owners. And they've proved to be the thorn in the side of owners past and present who've been dead set on moving stadiums to a larger, more lucrative piece of land. Essentially, the supporters group holds the freehold to the land on which Stamford Bridge sits. Former owner Ken Bates set it up at a time where some unruly property developers tried to evict the club from their ground. In order to prevent this, he established the CPO as a company that owned the pitch and offered the fans the chance to buy a share for £100. As well as that, they also own the rights to the name Chelsea Football Club, so if any owner wants to take them elsewhere, they can't be called Chelsea without the approval from the CPO. Now, in 2011, Roman Abramovich tried and failed to move them away from Stamford Bridge, and this has set a precedent for Todd Boehly and the current power brokers at Chelsea. They know any plan which involves moving from Stamford Bridge will require CPO approval from the now 13,000 fans who own it. There are fans who are concerned that if they stay at the bridge, they'll be left behind their domestic and European rivals who are moving to more commercially successful stadiums. But for the heritage and history lovers, Stamford Bridge is one of the iconic English stadiums, and to move away would be a grave mistake. It might not be as flashy as others, but stadiums like it have something about them that cannot be replaced. One thing's for sure, if Boehly wants to take Chelsea away from their home, he'll have to go through the CPO first.
Good morning, this is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling Gabby Agbonlahor and Arnold Clark's Deal Drop. Get the new car feeling without the new car price. Discover some of their biggest savings and find your next car today. Just coming around to 5 minutes past 9 o'clock, Tuesday, August the 11th. So, the new Premier League campaign right round the corner. The so-called Big Six, not really having the Big Six in this day and age. They've spent heavily to overhaul their squads, but who boasts the most lethal attacking trio in the division?
Here's Haaland, edge of the area, shoots early! 3-0! Erling Haaland from the edge of the box.
Buendia, left-hand side of the penalty area, low ball in! There's number 3! Morgan Rogers!
Away by McCarthy, Isak! He's off and running! To Semenyo and he turns it into the far corner. Here's Eze inside the penalty area, Gyökeres! Pokes it in, past Matt Sells. Matthias Cunha sneaks round the back and pokes Manchester United level. His left-footed cross is a brilliant one, Richarlison is there. He's headed the ball in. Roberto De Zerbi runs onto the pitch in celebration.
Chelsea dribbling towards the edge of the penalty area, onto his right foot, he shoots and seals it for Chelsea. João Pedro rolls it home. Chelsea have the final word.
Yeah, heading into a new season, Arsenal favourites to retain their Premier League title. A lot has changed around those sides you would traditionally expect a challenge. When Liverpool head into the new season, new manager, of course, but no Mo Salah, no Andy Johnston, Katike out injured as well. Chelsea fans, including Jason Cundy, excited by the arrival of, in particular, Morgan Rogers, but others as well. Michael Carrick starts his first full season as manager of Manchester United, But so far, they've been mighty quiet in the transfer window. And of course, for the first time in a long time, Man City start the season without Pep Guardiola. They do still have a certain Norwegian up front, though. So we want to focus on the front threes of those clubs. Who has the most firepower up front heading into the new season? So Gabby has ranked them for us. Gabby, off you go.
So number 5, I've gone Liverpool. I look at their options, Jeff. I look at Isak, Wirtz, Gakpo, Ingemara, Munoz. If Wirtz plays as number 10 and doesn't play in that front three, maybe Ingemara or Munoz come in. But I look at last season, Wirtz for me didn't do enough. Only 5 goals, 3 assists last season. Isak, injury problems, of course, but only 3 goals. Gakpo, if he's the starter, only 7 goals last season. So I think it's all out in the open now for Liverpool. They've got players that really need to step it up, especially Wirtz and Isak. So I've got to put them in 5th position out of the 5 teams that I'm doing. I look at number 4, I'm going to go Arsenal.
Number 4.
Some Arsenal fans won't like that, but I look at Arsenal last season. Yes, Gyökeres, with the help of a few penalties, got 14 Premier League goals. Martinelli, 8. Saka, 7. Madueke, 3. Maybe they start Arsenal this season with a front 3 of Saka, Gyökeres, or maybe Zolis off that left-hand side, maybe, who's been a replacement from Club Brugge for Trossard. But still, it doesn't really excite me, Arsenal's front 3, to be honest. In number 3, Jeff, I'm going to go Manchester United. I thought their front 3 done fantastic last season. All got double figures, Mbeumo, Šeško and Cunha, with the help of Marcus Rashford as well. Competition for that left-hand side. You can maybe let Cunha play as a number 10 in some games. Diallo as well. I really like him. He had a fantastic World Cup as well. He's a player that, can sometimes play instead of Mbeumo, or Mbeumo play down the centre if Šeško is getting rotated. So I've got Manchester United in 3. And in number 2, not of last season's form for Cole Palmer, but when I look at that front 3, if it's a 5-2-3 that Alonso plays, Palmer, Rodgers and João Pedro. João Pedro, 15 Premier League goals last season. Cole Palmer, even though he didn't perform, got 10 Premier League goals. And you add Morgan Rodgers into that, I think that's a very exciting front 3 with Estavo, who can put pressure on Cole Palmer for his spot as well. Also, Danny Welbeck, 13 Premier League goals last season. I think he's going to have a lot to say for Chelsea this season. Number 1, with ease, is Manchester City for me. I think Erling Haaland, best striker in the world, 27 Premier League goals last season. But Semenyo, you forget, with the Bournemouth goals, 17 goals he got in the Premier League last season, combined with Bournemouth and Manchester City. And Doku, I think he's getting better and better every game he plays for Manchester City, with competition, obviously from Shirky and from Foden, Marmoush if he stays, and maybe Pedro Neto might come into Manchester City as well. But if I had to pick the top out of all of them, I'd say Haaland, Doku and Semenyo. Pace, strength and skill.
Yeah. Semenyo, I think, particularly has been impressive in pre-season. Of course, we've yet to see Haaland. So just to pick you on 1 or 2 things there. Yeah. Obviously, from an Arsenal point of view, you put them forth. Victor Gyökeres. I just wonder whether this might turn out to be a breakout season for him.
I hope so. I was impressed with him during the World Cup at times for Sweden. I thought he looked strong. His hold-up play as well. But I just need a bit more from him, Jeff. I think Arsenal fans will probably agree. He's strong at holding the ball up. He can finish when he's got the right time. But is he limited? Do you know what I mean, Jeff? Can he be an elite striker, Gyökeres? Not from what I've seen. We had Joel Bayer in earlier. He's talking about, I want another striker. You've got Gyökeres. You've got Havertz. You've got Marino, Gabriel Jesus. And you still want another one, the money you spent on some of those players. So I think it's going to be difficult for him to be that elite striker.
And if that's the case, you got him down in in 4th as your 3 front men there. Could that stop them winning the title? Can they score as many goals this season from set plays as they did last season?
Well, the rules have changed, haven't they? So they might not get away with what they got away with last season. More fouls will be given for the blocking and the pushing. So they'll probably score less set pieces. But I still think, even though I've got them in 4th position, they've got so many other goals as well, Jeff. Odegaard needs to score more. Bruno Guimaraes can score from distance. Declan Rice will have to chip in with more goals. So even though I've got them in 4th position, I still think they've got goals that they spread out, Arsenal. So you've got Madueke's got to do better. 3 Premier League goals last season, not enough. Zales will come in with a point to prove. Saka, Gyökeres, Eze's got to do better as well. He went through a spell, didn't he? Scoring just against Spurs. He's got to do better this coming season and add goals. So I still fancy Arsenal to win the Premier League, but if you're talking about exciting front threes, they don't really excite me too much.
And when you talk about Man United's front three, you know, you're talking about Mbeumo and Šeško and Cunha, but should we change that and replace one of the wider players with Marcus Rashford? And would that move them up the order?
Well, it depends on Marcus Rashford we see. If we see Marcus Rashford who's fit, strong, he's excited to play for Manchester United, he's happy, then why not? You can put Marcus Rashford on our left-hand side. Cunha can be sort of a false 9 and boom off that right-hand side. And look, last season, how many times did Šeško score but then struggled to get in the starting lineup? Yeah. You know, it was Diallo was coming in and then Mbeumo down the centre. So there'll be a rotation with how many games they've got to play next season. Manchester United, Champions League now. You'll see rotation. And I'm sure Carrick loves Marcus Rashford, Jeff. He'll know him from his playing days. And I'm sure if he puts in the performances and a desire, there's no reason why he can't break into that side and keep his place.
Yeah. Just on the Chelsea situation, look, they've got some lovely talented players. I think they'll have a good season. You know, Rodgers, João Pedro, Cole Palmer. No focal point there, is there?
That's
for me, João Pedro's still not an out-and-out striker.
That's the problem. That's why I was having this argument last week with Roy Jennings. I said I prefer to have Ollie Watkins because I just think Ollie Watkins is in the box, isn't he, Jeff? He's there for the tap-ins. He's there for the striker goals. João Pedro is one of them strikers like Gabriel Jesus where he's frustrating and wants to drop on the edge of the box, isn't he? He don't want to get in there, Jeff, and get his head on a cross. He likes to drop off. That's why I think there might be times where, okay, you're out. Welbeck, you're in. He's not brought Welbeck in to be a cheerleader. He's brought Welbeck in, 13 Premier League goals last season. Don't be surprised if he takes João Pedro's place if he's not doing what Alonso wants. Yeah. If you've got wing backs and they're getting crosses in, João Pedro's got to get in the box, and that is something Welbeck does a lot better.
Yeah. City, of course, they have got a focal point.
Wow. And the rest.
Yeah.
So our producer, Ollie, did have Spurs on there, but I scribbled them out because I just think concentrate on the top 5.
Right.
Yeah, because
would they have been 6th?
Newcastle, do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? There's no so-called top 6, Jeff. There's a top 5.
We'll talk about a big 6. There is a big 6 anymore because obviously you've got to consider Villa and you've got to consider Newcastle.
Exactly. Let's just do 5 from now on.
So I think Spurs will have a good season.
Yes.
Especially under their manager. I really like De Zerbi and I like a lot of their signings as well. Coming up, we'll be joined by Barry Bannon as Sheffield Wednesday get their League One campaign underway this weekend.
So far this season, you've got Jeremy Jacquet from Rennes.
Yep.
And then you've got Victor Munoz from Osasuna.
Yep.
Obviously, Araujo's on his way, Barcelona captain, high-profile signing.
Yep.
But it just feels to me that maybe because of this transition post-Klopp and the failed project last season under Arne Slot, not the season before, maybe Liverpool are in flux in terms of who they are right now, in terms of identity and their playing identity.
No, I hear what you're saying. And look, it's the media's job to point these things out and come up with some kind of thesis on why Liverpool haven't won a title for 10 months. You know, and I smile while I say that. But here's the reality. They're still the most successful club in England.
Yeah.
They're a world-known club. Everyone knows them. If they want someone and they can come up with the money, they can attract players. Somebody going to Real Madrid over Liverpool, I'm not losing sleep about. A French person going to Paris Saint-Germain because he's basically French and he lives near Paris. Again, that's not a club issue at Liverpool. We will make signings in this window. Areola will instill an identity. It'll be an identity that will be exciting for the fans to watch. I saw a lot of Bournemouth games last year. Any fans who haven't, go watch them.
Yeah.
They're young, they're quick, they're dynamic, they never stop pressing, they never give up. If he instills that at Liverpool, and it'll take a minute, it will be exciting. We might not be up there at the start challenging for a title, and it depends how far Arsenal or Man City get ahead. But don't write Liverpool off like that this season. Yes, we're a few pieces missing. We've got the defensive cover sorted now, apparently. We'd love a central midfielder. We love a right winger. We like a little bit more strength and depth through the squad. But I still think good things can happen this year. And pre-season games have no reflection on how our season's going to go.
Yep.
Morning, 19 minutes past 9 o'clock. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling and Gabby Agbonlahor. We talked about parking a bit, didn't we, earlier on? And it's got people's goat. I can tell you, West Sussex Spurs, they've sent a message to me saying, I'm 61 now, so I agree with Gabby's old man moans. Paying to drop off at an airport. How else do you get there?
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Honestly.
I mean, a lot of countries abroad, France and Italy, I think they have kiss and fly zone. In other words, you kiss somebody goodbye, you drop them off, and off you go. You don't
Exactly. But even little things, Jeff. I was in Bournemouth recently. My phone's going. I'm like, I want to answer this call. I want to take it. Look for somewhere to park. Even on normal roads where you've got houses and stuff, you can't park.
Yeah.
It's like in front of you. There's a camera and a meter. I'm like, where can you park? Where can I park and take this call? I can't. I have to pay.
Yeah. Jonesy is messaged me saying just that, really. He said, parking in this country is a disgrace. We already pay to be on the road. Why do we pay to park on it too? If you park dangerously or stupidly, get towed away. Yeah, great. And by the way, car parking, sometimes in the car parks, railway station car parks, there's one railway station I park in, and seriously, when I park my car on a Sunday night there, it's Basingstoke, not Winchester, but Basingstoke, park my car there, the spaces are so tight, loads of space on a Sunday night, come back to pick your car up on Tuesday or Wednesday, can't get in it. Can't open the door because the cars next to you are parked so tightly. Not their fault. It's just the spaces are too small.
Yeah. Terrible. Sorry.
Anyway, it's not like us to moan, as you know. Been a rough few years for Sheffield Wednesday, hasn't it? Under the ownership of Deshwan Chansiri. Points deductions, administration protests. Last season relegated from the Championship. Chansiri is gone now. No points deduction this year either, which is brilliant news for them. They start level with the rest in League One, and their former skipper Barry Bannon has returned after 6 months away at Millwall. I'm delighted to say that joining us now to look ahead to what should be better times for Wednesday is Barry himself. Morning, Barry.
Morning, Barry.
Morning, Jeff. Morning, Gabby. How are you?
Yeah, good, thanks, mate. Can I just touch on Millwall first of all? What went wrong?
I went there for a short space of time, obviously. Really enjoyed my time there. Just missed out in automatic and ended up falling short in the playoffs. But it was good. It was something different that I enjoyed, and it just wanted to be in the end. We fell short.
Brilliant. Well, you're back home now, effectively, aren't you? I bet it feels like you've never been away.
Yeah, it was like a short holiday by the looks of it. I was only away a few months, so no, it feels right. Obviously, coming back to the club that I've been at for so long, and like you said, it feels as if I've never been away. It's great to be back, and I'm really enjoying it again.
You can save the reasons for your book when you retire, Barry. Okay, mate. How's it feel?
I will do.
How's it feel though, Barry? You know, the football club's been through a lot. You know, I was there on loan. I laugh about it. It wasn't the greatest loan, but I understood what football means to Sheffield Wednesday fans. What's the feeling now? The owner's gone. It's positivity. Great chance of getting at least into the playoffs this season. Is it a positive vibe now at the football club?
Yeah, it's amazing. It's a club that obviously you know really well, Gabby, from being here, but it's been a club that struggled for the last couple of years. It's been up and down, and now we've got the new owner come in, and he's done amazing in the short space of time of being in here. There's been a lot of change, but you can just see around the city that the positivity's back now, and once you get the fans and the ownership and stuff on board with each other, it's going to be a really, really strong club, and that's why we're all looking forward to the season ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it's great that obviously you're starting on a level playing field.
Yes.
No points deduction. But Barry, I'm sure you're aware, Sheffield Wednesday, a lot of clubs will look at them and think of Wednesday as being a big scalp.
Yeah, I've been lucky enough to be in this league before with Sheffield Wednesday, so I don't think things will change much from that side of it. It was, like you said, everybody wants to beat Sheffield Wednesday in this league. They come to the stadium, it's packed every week. Lovely stadium, historic, and it's teams' cup finals really in this league. So we know we're not going to get things our own way this season. It's going to be hard every single week, but we're ready for it.
Baz, you've had some exciting signings come in. There's one player that I've been keeping an eye on over the last 4, 5, 6 years. Louis Barry, how excited are you for him to come in?
Yeah, he's been brilliant. He's fitted in straight away. Obviously, I follow Villa myself, so I've seen him for a few years now myself. He's been brilliant. He's been a breath of fresh air. He's a winger who wants to go and score goals. He's started pre-season really well. So I'm really excited to play with him this season. Hopefully, he's found a home now because he's obviously been on a lot of loans from Aston Villa. And I think with him signing here permanently, hopefully he can find a home and settle down and find his best performances this season.
I like a lot of your signings, I've got to be honest, as well, Barry. I mean, plenty of experience in there. I mean, Billy Mitchell, can't believe it. He's only 25. He's played nearly 200 times for Millwall, you know, so bags of experience. Ricardo Santos as well. So I think on the face of it, it looks like you've recruited really, really well. Is automatic promotion inevitably the aim? Or do you take a broader view and think this is more about just getting the club, ensuring the club is on an even keel?
Listen, we're obviously an ambitious club, coming down from the Championship. A lot of people from the outside will look and tip us as promotion candidates, but there's been a lot of change at the club in the last 2-3 months now. And with change comes a lot of hiccups along the way. But I think as a group of players and staff, our aim is for the Stars, and that's to get promoted out this league this season. But we know it's not going to be easy. There's going to be a lot of bumps along the way. But of course, when a club this size shouldn't be in this league, so we're going to try our best to get out the league, however it may be. But I'm not naive to think that it's going to be easy. It's going to be really tough. And like I said, we've changed the squad. I think there was 7 or 8 new signings. It started at the weekend there. So they're all still bedding in, and we're trying to find out what each other wants on the pitch. So it'll be tough, but definitely we want to get promoted, yeah.
Jeff, you named a lot of players there. Any decent centre midfielders with a decent left foot? Now, Baz, I want to ask you about
one at least. Yeah,
Baz, I want to ask you about yourself. How are you feeling, mate? How's the body pre-season?
Yeah, I feel great. My pre-season, well, the off-season consisted of a lot of paddle, which kept me fit. So
Lovely.
I heard you're quite good at paddle, so I'm sure we'll get a game soon.
Definitely.
But no, I feel fine. I've been quite lucky in my career where I've managed to avoid major injuries up until now. And being 5'7" probably
Good
helps
height.
as well. I've not put a lot of load through my body. I'm quite light on my feet, so I still feel great. I still feel the same way I did a couple of years ago. So I'm going to keep going for as long as I can. And like I said, this season for me is a big season, coming back to the club again, and I have to prove myself again. There's a lot of good players fighting for the midfield position, so I've set my own targets again for this season, and I can't wait to get going again.
Brilliant. Hey Barry, 5'7". I'm about 5'7". The boys here will tell you I'm still light on my feet as well.
I've put about 2 inches on there, Jeff.
Brilliant. Look, Leyton Orient away to start off with, and then one of 100 derbies you've got this season, Bradford at home. Best of luck, Barry.
Yes,
really appreciate you
pal.
joining us again.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Cheers.
Always a pleasure, Barry. Always a pleasure, mate. So,
legend of the football club.
Yeah, he's been sensational, hasn't he? Sheffield Wednesday's Barry Bannon there. Remember, the EFL gets underway this Friday. It's live on talkSPORT. Wolves host Blackburn. 7 live commentaries across the network this weekend. Yeah, I think Wolves will have a good season.
Yeah.
You know, obviously they've brought in a bit of experience in Kieran Trippier and you know, up front as well with Raul Jimenez.
Yeah, the top 2 places. Middlesbrough will be up there, won't they, again? Southampton will be thinking, can we get up there again?
Yeah, absolutely. Talking of being up there again, Neil from Devon says, morning, Jeff, and Mr. Bitter Agbonlahor Spurs is in your head. Gabby, I would put my house on us finishing above Villa this season.
So would I, when, you know, Champions League for Villa. No, Spurs 1 game a week.
Neil goes on to say, we are one of the top 6. Well, Neil, you haven't been, have you? Not recently.
Top 17.
Yeah.
Top 17.
But I do take your point. I think you'll be one of the top 6 as well.
So do I.
This season. Yeah. We shall see. Look, there'll be lots of twists and turns along the way. Griffiths just texted in and said, love Barry. He said, but 5'7" is a stretch, literally. Coming up, but which of the promoted sides have got the best chance of staying up? Ipswich has spent a lot of money. Have they done enough? We'll discuss that next.
Steve gets in touch with the United fans. He says, boys, with Rashford, we've been down this road so many times. We've sang his name, give him over 300 grand a week, backed him and watched him stink the gaff out week after week. Body language is such a huge part of football.
It is.
I can't sit in the Stretford end again and watch him sort of mope around and sulk on the pitch. He's worked hard for any club who'd take him on loan over his supposed boyhood club. We've been down this road too many times. Shake hands, get him out the door ASAP. Do you understand that sentiment from some Manchester United fans?
Totally. I totally get it. Yes, he's burnt his bridges there. I get all the reasons for it, and he's done himself no favours whatsoever. Like I said, the player had potential to be top. Really, it's time to buy him a giant mirror. It's like, look in the mirror, son. Barcelona didn't want to buy you for 30-odd million. That's a drop in the ocean for a club like Barcelona. Nobody in the Premier League allegedly wants you either. So I don't see any, you know, I said recently maybe Tottenham should sign him, but they're obviously not getting the bids. So you're already at one of the biggest clubs in the world. Like, at some point, when does the penny drop? Because your next contract's not going to be 350 grand a week. The Saudi money looks like it's going away. I ain't sure Turkey, you know, somewhere he's going to want to live.
Yep.
So where are you going after this? How old is he now? He's still, you know, he's in his prime. So he's really got to figure this out and buckle down, or he's going to become a 31-year-old nobody, you know, who basically his career is dried up and finished, you know, in a few years' time. So really, maybe they're going to motivate Marcus Rashford. Maybe that will suit Man United. But I agree about the body language. I agree everything that happened before. and he ended up with a massive contract that they can't get out from under. So I don't think the people at United, the powers to be, will fall for that again.
Boxing. It's a sport that makes multi-millionaires out of the world's best fighters, but it's not as flush with cash as you'd think. We all see how much the likes of Tyson Fury or Canelo Alvarez make every fight, but that's not the case for those just starting out, or those who aren't even at that level. For example, if you've just turned pro and don't have a promoter, you have to sell your own tickets, cover the cost of the venue yourself, and pay the tax man at the end of it. You might not even break even, but if you do, you're looking at 5 to 10 grand max. A mid-tier fighter might make more like 10 to 50 grand, but you still have to give up half of that in costs. So unless you're fighting for a world title, it's tough to make money. One potential way of doing it, though, is being a journeyman. Here's former European champion talkSPORT's Spencer Oliver explaining how that could work.
They want to fight every week, and they can be going in against the prospects, so they can demand good money, and they might be demanding like 5 grand, 10 grand for a 6-rounder or something because they're going in with a prospect. He gets through that, the journeyman gets through that fight, and he can fight again next week.
I mean, even so, it's not much, and you're getting punched in the face for a job. It's only really at the top level, i.e. fighting for titles, where you're earning up to 6 figures and can afford a diamond chain or that Ferrari. So boxing isn't a sport that allows you to retire at 40 and live a life of luxury. Much like a lot of other sports and jobs in general, it takes an awful lot of luck quite early in your career to really make it worth your while.
Good morning to you. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling Gabby Agbonlahor and Arnold Clark. It's the perfect time to upgrade your car. Get 2 years free servicing when you buy a used car in the upgrade event. Check it out online. We've been discussing Newcastle this morning after the news broke that Pierre-Emile Højbjerg rejected the chance to move to the northeast. Could be a dodged bullet for Newcastle. Is it more concerning that Højbjerg is the level of player they're looking to sign? Graham's a Newcastle fan. He's excited for the new season. Morning to Graham.
Morning, Graham.
Good morning, lads.
So why are you excited, Graham?
Positivity, Jeff.
Good.
I just wanted to share your positivity from this morning. And just, there's a lot of unrest up here at the way things is going at Newcastle, but if you just look at the facts, I think Eddie himself needed a break. As much as I respect Eddie and what he did, he needed a break and he needed a change as well as the club did. And I think the direction that we're going is quite exciting moving into the season, as opposed to going back as a season ticket holder, maybe thinking the same old we're going to get from last season. And if you look at the players that's left, Tonali, Gordon hasn't played for 18 months for us. And if you look at Tonali, turned up for the big games, yes, fantastic player. Bruno, I'm disappointed with. But if he can get it, the new manager can get a tune out of Elanga, Wissa and Walter, we've effectively got 3 new signings, because last year there were passengers.
Yeah, no, I do agree with you, Graham. And I think, you look defensively. You brought in a new goalkeeper. You've got terrific fullbacks in Livramento and rock-solid central defenders, in the likes of Botman and Fabian Schär and Dan Burn, who's back there again for another season. As well, I think probably you're a little bit light in midfield. That's all I would say, Graham, yeah?
Yeah, but I think there'll still be 1 or 2 coming in, and obviously they're looking for a little bit of experience.
Yeah.
Whether Højbjerg was the right choice, I don't know. But they're obviously looking at that, similar to what Sunderland did with Xhaka last year, bringing that little bit of experience in midfield stealing. So I'm very, very positive.
What would you be satisfied with in terms of a finish?
I would say this year, on a transition year, 8th or 9th, I'd be quite happy with.
Fair.
Fair enough, yeah.
Agree.
Graham, let's hope you have a great season, mate.
Thank you.
Thanks, Graham. Now, ahead of their return to the Premier League, 3 promoted sides have wasted no time in flexing their financial muscles in the summer transfer window. Ipswich lead the way. Gary O'Neill overhauling his squad. 10 new signings, totalling over £100 million. Coventry have shattered their transfer record multiple times to rack up an £82 million outlay. Hull, so far, spent around £35 million. Peterborough chairman Darren McAnthony offered his verdict on who has what it takes to survive this season.
Imagine Hull are they the first favourites because they still have a lot of business to do, so that could change. Ipswich need goals, potentially, and that was, I think, the issue last time. And even though, obviously, they had the Man City boy they sold to Chelsea, Delap, but he still didn't score enough to keep them up. So they really, I think there's goals in Coventry. And I just think in that league, you score enough goals, the goals in the team, for teams who struggle, that keeps you in that league. And I do worry about those 2 newcomers. Fulham, the model of signing these Madrid boys, these younger players, losing Harry Wilson, the goals, the assists, even Jimenez, they've lost players, that scored goals last year. I'm slightly concerned for them.
Yeah, and I agree with Dara. It is about goals, isn't it? That's the problem that a lot of teams have when they come up with scoring enough goals.
We called it as well, didn't we? Like 3 weeks ago, didn't we, about Fulham? That we both agreed that that's our team that could be under pressure.
Big trouble, yeah.
I mean, losing the players and a manager.
I think Ipswich, I've got a theory about Ipswich. £100 million, but I think they've taken a massive gamble. Look, they've brought in Premier League experience. I like it. Sasa Lukic and Issa Diop from Fulham. I like Abdul Fattah at Leicester. Daizen Maeda from Celtic they brought in. Sort of eye-catching signing. Now, he's a good footballer. He's not a goal scorer. He's not a natural goal scorer. They brought in a new goalkeeper. But I think they've taken a massive punt on Emerson from Toulouse, who's going to be their striker, one assumes. Paid £24 million from him. He's just 22. He scored 6 in 27 league games last season. He's Brazilian. He's been nowhere near any representative sides for Brazil since he was 15. He scored against Rayo Vallecano pre-season friendly. But they're looking to him for goals. I just think it's a humongous gamble,
Yeah, and it's so difficult, isn't it, as well, because no offence to Toulouse, but, this is the Premier League, isn't it? You look even at Maeda, I agree with you on him. He's a fantastic player, but he's going to be limited for chances in the Premier League, and he's not clinical, Jeff. He might need 4 or 5 chances to put it in the back of the net. Akpom's coming as well for £7 million. He's gone to so many different clubs where he's not been loved.
Yeah.
And he's not really, for me, Premier League quality either.
He's not done it at this level, Premier League level.
Yeah, so you're bringing in all these new strikers, but could you have brought in one top striker instead of 3?
They may have seen something in this boy that we haven't seen. And they've got other good players, McAteer and Philogene and Mehmeti, Jack Clark, George Hurst. I don't think it's a forlorn hope that Ipswich will stay up.
Oh, no, definitely not. But would you say players like Fataru as well? I know he didn't have his best season last season, but when he's at it, is he someone that could be exciting on the wing?
I think so. I think he could make an impact. That's
experience from Lukic in midfield as well will help, won't it?
Yeah, and as I said, that Premier League experience, Diop at the back has got Premier League experience as well. So they've
got to stay up, haven't they, Jeff? Just one season.
Yeah.
Just stay up. Look at Sunderland. You stay up and then, you go again. Do you reckon there's more pressure on Ipswich than there is on Coventry and Hull to literally, stay up this season and not be just yo-yoing up and down?
Don't know. Certainly more than on Hull.
Yeah.
Because I think Hull's expectations will be realistic.
Of course.
I think that all Hull fans know they're probably going to struggle. Jack Butland, who's actually got a knock at the moment, he's going to be busy. But, and you look, this may change because I think there's still plenty of time in the transfer window for them to bring more players in. But if you look at Ollie McBurney, last season's hero, if you like, his best ever Premier League season is 6 goals.
just different, Jeff.
Yeah.
Like the Premier League's just, you got to be clinical because you're starved of chances. You're playing against elite centre-halves. You're playing against teams that are popping the ball around you, Jeff. You win the ball back. You try and get a chance. You've got to be clinical. If you're not, you could be waiting 20 minutes for another chance. So that's why these strikers sometimes get found out in the big league.
Yeah.
You've got to create your own goals at times as well.
Yeah, I mean...
difficult.
And Coventry, spend a lot of money. Not on a huge number of players, actually. They've chosen quality over quantity. It's got a lot of set plays last season.
Yep.
And that could be big for them again this season.
And the manager's got a point to prove as well in the Premier League. They'll be dying to keep Coventry up. And they've got players, haven't they, Jeff, that were fantastic last season and will want to test themselves. I think he's going to back those players.
Yeah.
Look at Hadji Wright. Players like him is going to be thinking, I can do it in the Premier League.
Yeah.
I want to give it my all, and why not?
Yeah. Who's your three to go down?
I'm going to go with Hull City. I think they will. I'm going to go Ipswich. And I'm going to go for Fulham.
Same three as me. I've got Ipswich 18th, Fulham 19th, Hull 20th.
Yep. And I think there'll be some scary season for some of the others as well. Playing in Europe.
Oh, yes.
2 games a week. Could get scary for them.
Yeah,
Or
I
Coventry, I think Lampard can keep them up.
Well, I was idling my time away last night, and I've done my finishing order for the Premier League. So here we go. Arsenal to win it. Chelsea second.
Okay.
Man City third. Man United fourth. Spurs fifth.
Okay.
Liverpool sixth.
Mm-hmm.
Newcastle seventh. Villa eighth.
Mm-hmm.
Everton ninth. Brighton 10th. Leeds 11th. Forest 12. Brentford 13. Bournemouth 14. Coventry 15th.
Oh.
Sunderland 16th. Palace 17th. And then Ipswich, Fulham and Hull. And I've left that till 15 minutes from the end of the show so that I don't get dogs abuse from all of the people that have offended with that particular order. But that's my. I'll probably be absolutely.
I think Leeds will do better than what some people. You want Andy Townsend, weren't you?
Yeah.
And he was not having Leeds this season. Maybe they'll struggle. But I agree with you. I feel that Leeds will get better from
I think a couple of great. Harry Wilson's a great sign.
Yes,
you
I
said.
agree.
James Trafford is an excellent signing in goal.
Point to prove as well.
I think so. I think they've certainly strengthened rather than.
The Walsall one was like a shock to me when that went, and that's like it's intent, isn't it?
Yeah.
Going and getting Harry Wilson that other top Premier League clubs wanted.
Yeah.
You've got Trafford. Smashed your wage budget on Trafford as well, over £100,000 a week. Yeah, I think the Leeds will be fine.
But a lot of it's guesswork is we don't know how good Alvaro Arbeloa will be at Fulham.
Exactly.
He might turn out to be absolutely brilliant. We just don't know. It's all guesswork when a ball hasn't been kicked just yet. Coming up, we'll ask a question. How important is a captain on the football field? Man City are searching for their new captain. With Bernardo Silva, of course, out of the door. Does it really matter? Gabby will tell us next.
I know Salah didn't play as much last season, but to not have Mo Salah, your talisman, like who's going to take that now? Isak should, but he's right to call it there, Egan. His injury record is horrendous. If he gets injured again, touch what he doesn't, who's the striker? Gakpo, false 9?
Apparently they're in for Bacola. I like him. I think he's top player.
Do you think he's a £130 million player?
Well, if Elliot Anderson's 10? How much they pay for it?
110.
Morgan Rogers, your mate, has gone to
117.
117 million.
No,
like Bacola. Of course, PSG are going to say, well, all right, well, he's 130 million. He won the Champions League, playing the World Cup.
But if you're Liverpool, is that exactly what you need off that left hand side?
Probably not. They need a replacement for Salah.
They need goals.
Yeah, they need goals.
Do you know what I mean? Barcola I agree. I love watching him. I feel like if I was a right back, I wouldn't sleep the night before playing against him. He's rapid. He's 6'2", wherever he is, long stride, quick. but he's not a finisher. The amount of times I've watched him and he's gone through one goal and he'll make the wrong pass and finishes are a bit wild and doesn't finish chances he should do. Liverpool need to be bringing in a winger who's going to get goals, because you can't rely on Isak. You can't. You should be able to. Wirtz isn't a goal scorer. You spent over 100 million for Wirtz and he's not a goal scorer, mate.
Feels like it's a bit of a mess.
McAllister wasn't good last season. How's he going to come back after the World Cup? Zoboszlai is obviously a fantastic player. Gravenberch needed some help last season in that number 6 as well.
I just can't believe that Liverpool, we're saying, Champions League. We'd take Champions League.
I agree. Their fans won't like it.
Yeah, very good morning to you. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling and Gabby Agbonlahor. 12 minutes away from 10 o'clock. Your headlines this morning. Nottingham Forest face Leeds in the Carabao Cup, the only all-Premier League tie in the second round of the competition. Chelsea and Spurs have got home games against Luton and Charlton, respectively. David Moyes returns to Preston with his Everton side. Amazon founder and billionaire Jeff Bezos nearing a deal reportedly to acquire a minority stake in Liverpool. And earlier in the show, talkSPORT senior football correspondent Ben Jacobs gave the latest update on Endrick after he was linked to a move to Gabby's beloved Villa. However, he played down the idea that the Brazilian could join Unai Emery's side.
Villa were interested and so were Roma, and both clubs were able to hold quite advanced conversations because Endrick was seeking different options. But then Jose Mourinho put a stop to all of it around about the evening last night, and it came off the back of Real Madrid giving Endrick the number 9 shirt. So barring any surprises, Endrick stays. The player's been informed, which means that Villa and Roma will have to wait. And yet in the winter market, if he's not getting enough minutes because Real have got lots of attackers, they might be able to revisit that one. But the loans that were explored are not now going to happen simply because Jose Mourinho, with the backing of Florentino Perez, has decided that Endrick will stay. And that's a big statement, giving a young player like him the number 9 shirt at Real Madrid.
I'm not sure how much he's going to play at Real, but does it disappoint you at all to see that he's not coming to Villa?
It would be, yes, because I think he's a fantastic player and the manager will get a lot out of him. But I get it for him as well, Jeff. You never know. I don't think he's going to play there because you've got Diamande, Vinicius Jr., Bellingham, Mbappe. Diaz is there as well, isn't it? Brahim Diaz is still there. You've got Rodrigo to come back from injury as well. But if the manager's giving him a number 9 shirt, maybe he sees a future there for him.
Yeah. A lot of reaction, as I knew there would be, to my predicted league table. Simon says, Hull fans fully expect to get relegated. We're buying young and up-and-coming footballers who can develop and we can sell on for high profit. Ipswich fan Alan said, hope you eat your words over us tractor boys. I get that completely. Gilby says, Coventry to finish 15th. I always like you, Jeff. And now I know it's just confirmed you are indeed a football expert. Returned 26 years in the making, full of the lowest of lows and the highest of highs. I can't wait. Come on, you Sky Blues. Paul says, Everton 9th. Thanks, Jeff. I'll take that right now. You're more optimistic about our season than I am. But there's a text here says, really disappointed in you, Jeff, from all of Sunderland.
Oh.
Now, I got them down as 16th, and I didn't think I was being insulting to them at all, Gabby. I'm just looking at the fact that they are going to have European football and hopefully a good run in Europe as well. Yeah. And that will tax their resources.
And I think they will have a good run in Europe, and I think teams are going to enjoy coming to the Stadium of Light. And it's a big difference, isn't it, Jeff? It's one game a week. How many teams have done it in their first time of playing in Europe in so many years and then struggled? If you're playing Thursday and you got to travel back and your players are getting knocks, how is your squad big enough and they've got the enough quality so you're playing 2 games a week? It's going to be difficult. They're not going to get relegated, Sunderland, of course not, but I think last season's performance will be hard to do again.
See, I think it would be an achievement. Sunderland, it would be a great season for Sunderland. They have a good run in Europe, get to the latter stages or towards the latter stages, and finish 5th bottom. I think that's a good season.
I totally agree. They're not going to finish in the top 7, top 8. They're not playing 2 games a week. And imagine those nights that the fans are going to go through. If you offered the fans that now, Jeff, they'd bite your arm off.
Yeah.
Get into the latter stages of a European competition and then finish 15th, they'd bite your arm off.
Yeah, come on, Sunderland fans. You've got a few minutes to text me and tell me whether you would bite your arm off a good run in Europe.
Then you go again, don't you?
Yeah.
The season afterwards, you go again with no European football.
You've got the Premier League big bucks and so on and so forth to build on again and establish yourself, not just as a Premier League side for a season or 2 seasons, but for the long term.
Yes, totally agree.
Long term. Pep Guardiola, of course, has ended his decade-long spell with Man City. Enzo Maresca, big season ahead for him. Now, a bit of discussion about club captain. Bernardo Silva's gone to Madrid. So the big question is who in the squad is suitable to replace him. I'm not sure. Ruben Dias is the favourite, Gabby.
Yeah.
How much does it matter in this day and age?
It doesn't really matter. You've got so many captains, Jeff. You know, like you say, the leadership groups. We had leadership groups during my time at Aston Villa, and even at England under-21s, you had leadership groups that far back that it was like a few captains. So I don't think it matters. Last season, you had what? You had Diaz, you had Bernardo Silva, you had Rodri, all captain material. Doesn't matter if one has the armband around their arm. Doesn't matter. There's so many leaders needed. Haaland's a leader by scoring goals and being aggressive and stretching defences and finishing off chances. Donnarumma in goal is a leader by the saves he makes and the way he talks from set pieces. So I don't think it's as big as it used to be, but some people are obsessed with it.
Yeah. If Rodri goes, assuming Rodri goes, how much will that weaken City's challenge, do you think?
Well, if you look at his performance at the World Cup, that was Ballon d'Or Rodri that we watched at the World Cup.
Wasn't
he was incredible. So he's got over that injury. I would do everything if I could. Manchester City, a year left on his contract. Don't care about losing out on 50 million. The money Man City have got, I would keep him. But if he does go, they have to bring in someone else. And there's talk about Buadi coming a year early if Rodri's allowed to go to Barcelona. So if he comes in, he's a very, very talented player. But still, they'll be weaker without Rodri.
Yeah.
He's the best.
Peter, as a Sunderland fan, says, hi, lads, we won't lose 7 to AFCON this season. We'll be fine. I'm sure you will, and you're absolutely right. Lost a lot of players to AFCON last season, of course. Yeah, Dan, who's a Palace fan from Norwich, he says, as a Palace fan, we did exactly what you're talking about with Sunderland. You know, gone on, won a European trophy, stayed up. Perfect. Nottingham Forest fan, I said, I'll take 12th for Nottingham Forest. It's a bit of a rebuilding season. Hopefully we can keep a manager longer than 12 months this time around, having had 4 managers last year. And Chris, who's a Bournemouth fan, said, I'll take your predictions with a pinch of salt, Jeff. After last season, when you said that Bournemouth would get relegated, I don't think your predictions are worth much. You know what, Chris? They're worth absolutely nothing, mate, let alone not worth much.
I'm excited, Jeff. I'm excited, though, for the season because there's a lot of unknown.
Yeah.
You know, so many new managers. You know, look at Maresca coming in, look at Alonso, look at Palace.
Yeah, 9 new managers. Yeah.
You know, so much unknown, and it's not going to be what people expect.
Yeah.
I think Fulham really struggle. I really do, because Marco Silva he was at it, wasn't he? He got a lot out of those players. Losing Wilson, losing Diop, losing...
But Arbeloa may turn out to be an upgrade. We just don't know.
The two Spanish lads that he's brought in from Real Madrid, they could be fantastic, couldn't they? Or they could struggle with the physicality of the Premier League.
Yeah, absolutely. Rafe has just said he's a Sunderland fan living down in Cheltenham, season ticket holder. Can't wait to see the lads taking over Europe. Personally, I take a 17th place finish and a semi-final in Europe any day of the week, as long as you get 6 points off Newcastle. So the new season up and running. talkSPORT has it covered tomorrow. Salzburg hosts PSG against Villa in the Super Cup, live on
Big game.
7 live and exclusive EFL commentaries across the weekend, beginning with Wolves against Blackburn Friday night. Sunday, live coverage of Arsenal against Man City in the Community Shield in Cardiff. And that's all before the Premier League returns Friday, August the 21st, with Arsenal against Coventry. The football is back and talkSPORT has you covered. And talking about people being back, Big Al's back again tomorrow. Yeah, Alan Brazil will be here alongside Gabby tomorrow. I'll be back with Gabby on Thursday morning. Up next, it's Max Scott and Darren McAnthony.
Barcelona are now leading the race to sign Rodri from Manchester City, notwithstanding the loss that would be to City in a new era under Enzo Maresca. What's the latest on that? And is it the case that Real Madrid have dropped the ball here? Because it seemed to be, reading reports, that Real Madrid were in the driving seat with this one.
Yeah, Rodri wanted Real Madrid earlier in the window, and Florentino Perez hadn't decided what kind of midfielder he was going for, which is why several names were linked, including Enzo Fernandez, and Real had to issue a statement saying we've had no contact with Enzo Fernandez. Jose Mourinho came in. Finally, they got the mandate from Perez to start negotiating financially, but Barca have basically hijacked this, although some sources say Barca were there even before the window opened, and it was Real that kind of steamrolled in. And ultimately, Rodri, for family reasons, wants to go to Spain, but we've got a fascinating scenario now. Man City want to keep. Pep Guardiola never used to stand in players' ways, especially senior ones that had been long-serving and loyal to the club. But Enzo Maresca's new, and of course, if it's his say, he'll go to his board and say, keep him. If he doesn't renew, we'll let him leave on a free transfer in 2027. And now Barca are going to accelerate and bid, and they have full player buy-in. So Rodri wants Barcelona over Real Madrid, and I think there's a strong chance that this one happens. Man City are going to add another midfielder. Ayoub Bouadi advanced